districts of 2 and 4. Because of the new maps, voters should verify the registration and assigned district before heading to the polls. In District 2, Democrat Eric Allen and Republican Alicia Adams are looking to represent areas that include Smyrna, Vinings, Marietta, and Kennesaw. District 4 incumbent Democrat Monique Sheffield faces Republican Matthew Hardwick. That is in South Cobb. Some big changes are headed to Atlanta-based UPS this year.
The delivery giant is hinting at significant operational changes as a result of their previously announced decision to scale back their Amazon delivery volume by more than 50%. The company said this winter it was making the change because they want to focus on more profitable partners. UPS expects to reduce its operational workforce by approximately 20,000 positions during 2025 and close 73 leased and owned buildings by the end of June. UPS also joining the list of companies stepping back from their full-year financial guidance because they have not yet determined how new tariffs will impact their business. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
The U.S. Supreme Court hears the case today of an Atlanta woman whose home was raided by FBI agents who later admitted they had the wrong house.
She filed a lawsuit against the government, accusing them of tort violations of assault and battery, and the government moved to dismiss, claiming that, in fact, they were protected from this lawsuit.
Loyola law professor Lori Levinson says Trina Martin claims her Fourth Amendment rights were violated, but the FBI claims it has no liability under the Supremacy Clause. High Court must decide when a person is eligible for compensation following a botched federal raid. It's 9:03. Mark Aram Show begins in less than 2 minutes. But first, live team coverage of traffic and weather. And let's start with Triple Team Traffic. And here's Smiling Mark McKay.
Westside Perimeter Judd is all jammed up, leaving College Park, trying to get up to a crash that's lingered way too long in 2 left lanes on 285 northbound, north of Cascade Road, exit 7. Delays back toward I-85 means out of Fairburn and Union City this morning. Just continue 85 north into downtown. You will put up with delays, though, on the connectors. 75-85 northbound is heavy, leaving Langford Parkway up to the I-20 interchange. Traffic Trooper James said still plenty of leftover slow traffic out of the Lutheran and Norcross. 85 southbound, leaving 316 down to Indian Trail Road. 400 still a tough go of it, leaving Alpharetta at Old Milton Parkway to Holcomb Bridge Road. 75 on and off the brakes through Marietta down to I-285. Still following a big crowd due to a big cleanup operation on I-20 in Conyers. Chinway, Maponia Cook.
And the delays are pretty steady. I-20 westbound. This is at West Avenue, exit 80 out in Conyers. Crews have officially opened up that right lane as tractor trailers and motorists are making their way past, but you're still seeing some delays back to Sigmund-Salem Road, so you can take Dogwood or Iris Drive to avoid these delays. Triple Team Traffic, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly cloudy today with an isolated pop-up shower possible, high 82, lows tonight in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with a few pop-up showers, high 83. Partly cloudy on Thursday, high 84.
65 degrees in Roswell, 67 in Riverdale, 67 degrees in Midtown Atlanta at 9:05. More news at 9:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Jed Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
Welcome, friends. What a nice, breezy, cool morning here in Atlanta. Mark Aram and gang bending your ears for the next 3 hours. We got a humdinger of a show. Very excited. Joining us live in studio, 10:35, our buddy Greg Bluestein from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. All things politics with Mr. Bluestein. And 11:35, Chris Cuomo. You might remember that name from CNN. He is now on News Nation. And he is going to join us live, detailing the first 100 days of the Trump presidency. Yeah, this is 100 days into the second Trump presidency. Chris Cuomo is going to join us. We're going to update the developing situation with between Russia and Ukraine in just a minute. We're going to talk to Beth Noble, former Moscow bureau chief for CBS. But right now, for some reason, there's an early morning press briefing at the White House, and Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent right now answering questions from the media. Let's dip in for a second if we can.
To make the U.S. the greatest destination for domestic and foreign investment.
And the president, well, if I can follow, just the president said that world leaders would like to meet with him in Rome, in Vatican City, about trade. Other than President Zelensky, who did the president meet with and about trade, and when could we get some of those deals?
The president met with President Zelensky, as you know, which we talked about, and the president continues to be
engaged. That's Caroline Leavitt, the press secretary.
His fellow fellow leaders around the world in the European Union. You harp on in closing the point the secretary just made on the campaign trail. The president promised the American public that he was going to make America the best country in the world to do business again. The lowest taxes, lowest regulation, lowest energy costs of anywhere in the
All
world.
right, so
If you do
that's the
business in
press
United
secretary,
States,
Caroline
you won't-
Leavitt, and she's been up there with the Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent. We're going to go back and pull some cuts for you there. The Treasury Secretary speaking at the White House briefing early this morning. I think they started around 8:30 this morning. The Treasury Secretary obviously talking about the tariffs and the current economic situation. We'll see. You know, it's been weird the last couple of weeks. Every time Bessent speaks, the markets react positively, which has been a key indicator as we've been following the market so closely the last 90 days or so, last 100 days, that when Bessent speaks, the markets like the certainty that he brings to the table. So we'll see what he had to say, and we'll update. Yeah, they're just walking off the podium now, so it just ended. But interesting story there. Speaking of interesting story, this just popped. Do you all remember... it's certainly if there are Georgia Bulldog fans that were down in New Orleans for the Sugar Bowl on New Year's Eve. Deborah, do you remember the terrorist attack on, I guess it was early New Year's Day down in New Orleans, where the guy drove the truck into the crowd? And I mean, just an awful situation. And it's crazy how fast the news cycle is. That was just January 1st. And I haven't really even thought about that horrific story. But we have new information this morning. An ISIS member has now been accused of inciting that New Orleans terrorist attack. He has been arrested in Iraq. So here's the headline out of Baghdad. A man associated with the terrorist organization ISIS has been arrested in connection with the New Year's Day attack in New Orleans that killed 14 people. A Supreme Judicial Council of Iraq said they have arrested, quote, a person involved in inciting the car ramming incident. That person, who has not been named, will stand trial under the nation's counterterrorism law. Investigators say in the early morning hours of New Year's Day, Shamsud Din Jabbar, 42, drove a rented truck down crowded Bourbon Street, killing 14 people and injuring 30 others. Jabbar killed himself was killed after opening fire on police officers, injuring 2 of them. Officers returned fire, shooting and killing him. After finding an ISIS flag in Jabbar's truck, the FBI says they're investigating this as an act of terrorism. So Jabbar, he was a U.S. citizen, right? This was not someone from another nation that did this terrorist act. This was a homegrown terrorist. But the headline today is that he was basically, I guess, inspired by ISIS in Iraq. And Iraq arrested this individual. We don't know their name, but he's going to stand trial in Iraq under the nation's counterterrorism law. I would imagine that the U.S. Justice Department is going to want to get their hands on this dude as well, right, for inciting or instigating or inspiring this terrorism attack on January 1st. The terrorist that died at the scene, you might remember, attended Georgia State University. The school confirmed that he attended from 2015 to 2017, graduated with a degree in computer information systems. I had forgot the shocking numbers that 14 died and over 30 others were injured, including 2 law enforcement folks. But they had a new update there on the story. Gosh, Deborah, it doesn't that seem forever ago?
It does. I mean, I hate to say it was last year because it was New Year's Day, but it feels like it was already last year.
Unbelievable. So that just popped this morning, some interesting stuff. Apparently, Amazon announced some information for its consumers on how the tariffs are going to impact everything we buy on Amazon Prime, et cetera. And I believe Scott Bessent was not happy with that announcement. So he discussed that in the press briefing that just ended. And Vinny's going to go back and get some audio out of that, but certainly something to monitor. I mentioned when Bessent talks, people listen. Dow futures are up right now. NASDAQ and S&P down a little bit. But we'll see what Bessent had to say, and then we will see how the markets react. But historically, when he gets to the podium and he says stuff, the markets like the seriousness and the certainty of what Scott Bessent has to say. Again, we got so much to talk about today. Don't forget the 5K Day Bonus Blitz continues, coming up in about an hour and 6 minutes. That's pretty precise. An hour and 6 minutes. I'm going to give you a keyword in the 5K Day Bonus Blitz. Another chance for you to win $1,000 here on WSB Radio. And at 11:37, Deborah's got tickets to give away to see Hans Zimmer at the Gas South Arena on September 11th. So a lot of developing stories, both locally and nationally. We'll update them for you throughout the day. But a very important story that we've been talking about for a long time now, as we hit the 100th day on the President Trump's second term, is the situation between Russia and Ukraine. Very excited to have joining us live on the show, former Moscow bureau chief for CBS News. It's our buddy Beth Noble. Beth, good morning. How have you been?
Hey, Mark. Always great to talk with you.
Likewise. Thanks so much for carving out some time for us this morning. I want to start. We had that iconic photo taken right prior to the papal funeral in Rome, in the Vatican, of President Trump sitting down, literally sitting in a chair, face to face with Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky. Is there any knowledge or anything we can take away from that one-on-one meeting?
Yeah, President Trump hasn't really spoken about it, but President Zelensky did afterwards. And he said that they had a really good and productive meeting. And, there was no audio taken, but there was this photo of them kind of knee to knee talking and seeming to, be listening intently to each other. And, you'll remember that the last time they met in person in Washington in the Oval for the Oval Office visit, it was kind of a nightmare. They got into a big fight, and President Zelensky ended up kind of getting kicked out before he even had his one-on-one meeting with President Trump. So I think President Zelensky of Ukraine has learned a lot from that he's got to be more deferential to President Trump and say thank you more for American aid. So, let's hope it was actually a good meeting that's going to lead to an actual peace deal in Ukraine.
Yeah. On the heels of that, it really was an iconic photo of those two right before the funeral, talking face to face. President Trump, all of a sudden, been very critical of Vladimir Putin on social media. Are we maybe seeing a shift away from Putin from the Trump administration?
It's a little hard to know, but I think there are a lot of people saying to President Trump that he's really got to be careful about dealing with President Putin, that President Putin is extremely manipulative. Let's remember he is a professional spy, and I've seen him in meetings be very charming, be very tough, like he almost rolls out his personality based on who he's meeting with. So clearly the U.S. has got to be able to engage President Putin and actually get some things on the table that are agreeable to both sides to get this 3-year horrible war ended. But I think, one thing we learned today is the New York Times has a big interview with the president of Finland, who apparently has been one person advising President Trump to be very careful about dealing with President Putin. So President Putin is tough. He's a very smart guy. He can be very, very manipulative. And I think America's got to ride that line to be an honest broker to both sides, Ukraine and Russia, to get a deal on the table that they can both accept.
And you talk about that manipulation, Beth, and I think we saw that firsthand. Witkoff in Moscow for the talks, and Vladimir Putin presented him with a painting that he had commissioned by what he said was one of the top Russian artists of President Trump to take back to Trump as a gift. I mean, that's part of that KGB forever a spy. How do I get what I need from this person? I mean, that gift right there might be Exhibit A of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting. I was talking with a friend last week who's another old Russia hand. I hate that old word, but, he's another person who's been in and out of Russia since the 90s. And he said, I think that the KGB was trying to manipulate Donald Trump going back to his very first visit to modern Russia in the 90s when Trump went to see if there could be some real estate deals. And so this friend has theorized that the KGB, the Russian intelligence, wanted to try to co-opt Trump way back then, and that their long-term plan was to see Trump in the White House, and that they've done everything that they could do to get him there. Now, I don't know if that's right, but it's certainly a very, very interesting theory. And so I think President Putin and the Russians have been a lot better than the Ukrainians, for sure, in understanding President Trump and trying to win him over to their side.
If true, that he wouldn't be the only famous rich American that the Russians would try to get compromat on, right? I mean, that's their playbook. Like, let's find a vulnerability of someone. Trump wouldn't be on an island in that case. That's something that, I'm sure they have volumes of data on anyone that's rich and powerful in the United States. I got to ask, Beth, Russia proposed a 3-day ceasefire. What was that all about?
So the 80th anniversary of World War II is coming up. We celebrated on May 8th. The Russians celebrated on May 9th. And this holiday is sacred to the Russians. And they lost over 20 million people in World War II. And so they always have a big party on, every 5 years to commemorate the end of what they call the Great Patriotic War. And so I was there in Russia in 1995 and 2005 when there were some huge parties. And at those parties, Russia was not a pariah. And so the American president came, the British prime minister, French leaders, Italian, all kinds of leaders from Europe, from all over the world to commemorate the end of this horrible, horrible war that had a huge effect on Russia. So this year, there's the 80th anniversary of the war, and there are quite a number of world leaders coming, but not too many Europeans, and no indication yet that President Trump is going. And so President Putin wants there to be quiet for those 3 days that those world leaders are going to be in Russia. And so he's proposed a 3-day ceasefire during that holiday. And President Zelensky of Ukraine has said, well, why should we wait till then? Let's have a ceasefire now. Let's have a 30-day ceasefire, and let's actually put down our weapons and try to talk. So far, that counter-proposal has not gone over well with the Russians.
All right. Hopefully, we will have some sort of a ceasefire agreement in the near-term future. Beth Noble, former Moscow bureau chief for CBS. Beth, as always, thanks for your time and your insight.
Thank you, Mark.
There you go. Any developments on the Russia-Ukraine situation, we'll bring them to you live here on 95.5 WSB. Again, apparently in that White House press briefing, the White House not happy with Amazon for apparently they're going to start releasing tariff data to consumers. Like if you bought a 6-pack of deodorant, I'm raising my hand, how much tariffs did that increase the price? I'm going to try to get some more information on that after we take this quick break. But before we take the break, let's check traffic on this beautiful Tuesday morning. Live to Atlanta's only 24-hour traffic center. Here's Mike Shields.
And Mark, finally some good news on the 2 long-standing issues we've had. Let's start off in Conyers. For almost 3 hours, we've had almost all lanes blocked at times and only a right lane getting by. The last hero unit just pulled away and all lanes just reopened due to a crash and debris cleanup. I-20 westbound at West Avenue, and a long-standing crash on the west side perimeter just cleared within the last 5 minutes. 285 northbound the Interloop at Cascade Road, but bumper to bumper as you leave I-85 on the south side, leaving Union City into College Park. This report is brought to you by the 2025 FIFA Club World Cup. The 2025 FIFA Club World Cup is coming to Atlanta. Get ready for a global soccer showdown at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Don't just watch history. Be there. Get tickets at FIFA.com/tickets. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
The news of the day through the eyes of Eric Von Hessler.
I've listened to many arguments, and there are good arguments to say that we shouldn't. I'm just saying.
If it's on your mind, it's on his.
This is the only way to do it. Some people are going to lose their job, and then they're going to be put back in the job.
Eric Von Hessler, today at 3.
It's about you. You're being celebrated.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Spring is in the air, and a lot of us are looking at things to spruce up our homes, from tweaking or landscaping, a little bit of paint. But how's your roof looking? This is Scott Slade. A new roof can dramatically improve the look of your home. Lots of uncertainties in the economy right now, so my roofer, FGA Roofing, has put together an offer you should consider. They call it the 000 plan. 0 down payment, 0 interest for 12 months, and 0 monthly payments for 12 months. With FGA Roofing, you can get a quote in just a few days and your roof installed in just a couple of weeks. And you can wait to pay until it fits your timeline. FGA Roofing specializes in slate, tile, wood shake, cedar roofs, as well as architectural roofs. The experts at FGA Roofing can lay out all the options for you, whether your roof is aging out or you just want a designer upgrade for your home, or both. FGA Roofing, where you'll get first-rate installation and quality service, always. Just search FGA Roofing to get started with a free quote today. That's FGA Roofing.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group, to discuss one of the biggest blind spots that people face when saving for retirement, and it's a head scratcher. Chris, how do so many people not know what they're invested in?
That's the biggest flaw that everybody runs into. They think they know what equities they have, they think they know what bonds they have, but they really don't know how those mutual funds or how those index funds are performing in conjunction with one another. So, I would liken this to a big pot of soup, and we're just throwing all the ingredients in the refrigerator in this thing. It's not very good. It's just a mishmash of stuff. And sometimes you like the way it tastes. Sometimes you don't. And when you don't know why. You don't know if you got too much chicken in there or too much vegetables in there or what's going on. And I ask every caller that comes in for an initial consultation, do you know how your portfolio is broken down? And they say, well, I've got, 20 or so options in my 401k, and I just picked 2 of them or 3 of them. I thought I needed some international. I thought I needed some U.S. equities. I thought I needed some bonds. And they're just guessing. So you have to absolutely know what you're invested in, and that's where we will run the 401k portfolio x-ray for you, because that'll break it down. If you're not proficient at investing and don't understand this world, we will walk you through it. Not knowing what you're invested in is a big hindrance to growing and protecting your money. We will run a portfolio x-ray for you and educate you on exactly what's in your portfolio.
Set up a time to get your complimentary portfolio x-ray today. Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858. That's 404-737-3858, or book online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163. 546.
Storm season officially here, friends, and it wreaks havoc on your house and your roof. It's Mark Arum here. If you truly want peace of mind about your roof, and for many years to come, ask Dr. Roof about their lifetime warranty. Dr. Roof's warranty means they have your roof covered for the lifetime of your roof, and if anything comes up, Dr. Roof will take care of it. You never have to worry about a thing. They stand behind it since they've been in business for over 35 years. Now that is peace of mind. All the info online at drroof.com.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
Can't believe this celebrity birthday. Willie Nelson turns 92 years old today, Deborah. 92. He's still out there puffing and performing. So by executive decree, we're going to do here all Willie Nelson today on the Mark Arum Show. All right, so I pulled the audio from Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, and from Caroline Leavitt, the press secretary, talking about what Amazon is doing. So apparently Amazon has decided to, when you buy something on Amazon, they're soon going to show how much tariffs are adding to the price of each product. According to a person familiar with the plan, the shopping site will display how much of an item's cost is derived from tariffs right next to the product's total listed price. I think Shein and Temu are doing the same thing, right? If you order it, it says, all right, normally it would be $40, but now it's $90 because of the tariffs. So apparently this is raising some ire in the White House that Amazon is going to do this. This is from the press briefing just a little bit ago.
So it was reported this morning that Amazon will soon display a little number next to the price of each product that shows how much the Trump tariffs are adding to the cost of each product. So isn't that a perfect crystal clear demonstration that it's the American consumer and not China who is going to have to pay for these policies?
I will take this, since I just got off the phone with the president about Amazon's announcement. This is a hostile and political act by Amazon. Why didn't Amazon do this when the Biden administration hiked inflation to the highest level in 40 years? And I would also add that it's not a surprise because, as Reuters recently wrote, Amazon has partnered with a Chinese propaganda arm. So this is another reason why Americans should buy American. It's another reason why we are onshoring critical supply chains here at home to shore up our own critical supply chain and boost our own manufacturing here.
Is Jeff Bezos still a Trump supporter?
Look, I will not speak to the president's relationships with Jeff Bezos, but I will tell you that this is certainly a hostile and political action by
Hostile
Amazon.
and political action by Amazon by saying this is why this product costs more than it did last year. Got it. Okay. All right. I'll Willie tell you. Very excited about that. News, weather, and traffic in less than 2 minutes. When we come back, new numbers from the border, and oh my goodness, the border crossings have dipped significantly, and deportations have increased significantly with the latest from Luke Barr from ABC next on The Mark Arum Show.
Final prayer was answered when the rifles fired again.
Your attic is like a 5-star resort to critters, and they're ready to move in. Scott Slade here for Breda Pest Management. If critters are creeping in your attic, better call Breda to get a highly trained expert to kick those critters out. Under the Breda Wildlife Guarantee, if any critters return, you're covered at no additional cost. Breda Pest Management. They handle bugs and critters. BREDAPest.com.
Breda, Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
When everyone in the family wants something different from this year's vacation, there's only one thing to do. Plan for Pigeon Forge. From gorgeous mountain views, shows, and shopping for leisure lovers to coasters, a 200-foot swing, and hundreds more rides for adventure seekers. Plus Dollywood's epic array of fun. There's plenty of variety for the whole family, all in one place. Unique experiences, quality time, and memories for years to come. Find your personal favorites. Plan your getaway at mypigeonforge.com.
I know we just started spring, but already Maya and I have turned on the AC in our house a couple of times. Hey, it's Mark Arum back from my pals at Reliable Heating and Air. We are going to use our AC a lot this summer. I'm sure you will as well. Great new deal from my friends at Reliable. Check this out, folks. Get any size air conditioning, any size AC, just $69.99 a month. Zero down payment, low monthly payments, unbeatable lifetime warranty, and next day installation guaranteed, or they pay you $500. Yes, any size AC, just $69.99 a month, zero down, low monthly payments. Don't go into another sweltering summer with your old AC unit. Get a new one from my friends at Reliable. Book an appointment for a convenient time right on their website at reliableair.com and click on the Schedule Service button, or call or text 770-594-9969, 770-594-9969.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 9:30. I'm Judd Hickenbotham. News this half hour brought to you by Dr. Roof. Our top story. The Trump administration marks 100 days in office today. It goes on the offensive about the tariffs that have dominated the headlines recently. The Treasury Secretary saying this morning that those duties will bring back U.S. manufacturing. Although recent polling shows many Americans not convinced they are the best thing for the country. There are also mixed feelings here in Georgia.
Small Business Administrator Kelly Loeffler says the past 100 days have been full of accomplishments for the American people.
When he returned to the White House, President Trump made a promise, and it was clear, to put American workers, industry, and businesses first again.
But U.S. Senator John Ossoff says the new administration has plunged the country into crisis.
This is a crisis about the very character and nature and substance of our republic.
Trump will deliver a speech about his first 100 days in Michigan tonight. Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
The president also expected to announce today relief on some tariffs for U.S. automakers. It is 68 degrees right now in Midtown Atlanta. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards says we'll see a mix of clouds and sun today around the metro area, the high getting into the low 80s. Could see a shower this afternoon, though. Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast is coming up. Well, it is Election Day in Cobb County as voters decide the balance of power on the county commission.
The outcome of the races in District 2 and 4 could swing party control of the commission, which currently is a 50-50 split of Democrats and Republicans. The incumbent in District 4 is Monique Sheffield, and the Democrat hopes to keep her seat in a race against the Republican challenger Matthew Hardwick. District 2 comes down to Democrat Eric Allen and Republican Alicia Adams. They're both hoping to fill Jerica Richardson's seat. She was redrawn out of the district by the Republican-controlled legislature. Polls are open from 7 to 7. Voters must vote at their registered polling place. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta-based Coca-Cola releases better than expected earnings this morning for the first quarter. Says the impact of tariffs on its business is likely to be manageable. Coke says its revenue fell 2% to just over $11 billion through March of this year, which is in line with Wall Street projections. It says its net income rose 5% during that time. Big Lots' new owner, Variety Wholesalers, says it will be relaunching 132 stores next month following bankruptcy.
Georgia is one of 14 states where Big Lots stores will get a second life. Nearly a dozen stores will reopen in Georgia, including locations in Augusta, Marietta, and Waycross.
Bloomberg's Gina Cervetti reports Florida, North Carolina, and South Carolina, Ohio, and Pennsylvania are also among the states where Big Lots will be reopening stores. A new study on ultra-processed foods finds junk food can be a killer.
They found premature deaths linked to the consumption of ultra-processed foods were lowest in Colombia, 4%. They were highest in the U.S. and the U.K. More than 13.5% of all premature deaths were linked to eating too many foods high in fat, salt, sugar, artificial sweeteners, and other additives.
Vicki Barker reports health officials say ultra-processed foods like bread, cakes, and fast food are fine, but only on occasion. It's currently 9:33 as we check your money now on Wall Street. A mixed bag on Wall Street here for you Tuesday. The Dow opening up slightly. S&P and NASDAQ are opening down. Now live team coverage of traffic and weather. Starting the WSB 24-hour traffic center and Mike Shields.
Got a new crash on the east side perimeter. Has been in the left lane. 285 northbound. The outer loop at Church Street, exit 40. Already slow, though, as you leave Glenwood Road, exit 44. Things trying to recover on the west side perimeter due to a long-standing crash that is cleared. 285 northbound at Cascade Road, exit 7. And delays really improving now in Conyers after a long-standing crash also cleared I-20 westbound at West Avenue. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly cloudy today with an isolated shower possible, high 82, lows tonight in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, a few pop-up storms can't be ruled out, high 83. Partly cloudy on Thursday, high 84.
65 degrees in Mableton, 66 in Decula, 68 degrees in Midtown Atlanta at 9:34. More news at 10, breaking news when it happens. I'm Judd Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
On air,
online,
on the app,
where you get your news
is where you'll win.
Download the WSB radio app now and maybe win $1,000.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
5 words, 5 times a day, every weekday.
Oh my God, you saved my day.
Just enter the word at WSBradio.com or on the WSB radio app.
Your next chance to win is coming up at 10.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz
on 95.5 WSB.
Coming up next, more words from the Treasury Secretary about the ongoing negotiations with China, and we've got new deportation numbers in. We'll bring them to you live in 2 minutes on the Mark Arum Show.
I hate getting stuck in Atlanta traffic almost as much as I hate overdraft fees. Hey, it's Smilin' Mark McKay. Your checking account should help you with day-to-day expenses and not charge you fees. A Chime checking account allows you to manage your money better. I've overdrafted my account. I was in a jam and I was embarrassed. With Chime, you have peace of mind. Chime covers members up to $200 with 0 fees. Visit Chime.com and get started with a qualifying direct deposit. Had an overdraft? Don't worry or be ashamed. Chime has spotted members over $32 billion. Move toward a better financial future with Chime. Open a Chime checking account in 2 minutes. Get started today at Chime.com. Chime feels like progress.
Banking services and debit card provided by the Bancorp Bank, N.A. or Stride Bank, N.A. Members FDIC. MyPay line of credit provided by the Bancorp, N.A. or Stride Bank, N.A. SpotMe eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. MyPay eligibility requirements apply. Not available in all states. Credit limits range from $20 to $500. $2 applies to get funds instantly. Out-of-network ATM withdrawal or OTC advance fees may apply. Fees apply at out-of-network ATMs. Bank ranking and number of ATMs according to U.S. News and World Report 2023.
Guys, if you're having ED or performance issues and Viagra and Cialis haven't worked, you need to come see Choice Men's Health. Give us a call or visit us online at choicemenshealth.com. Get your love life back and choose Choice Men's Health.
It's what welcomes people to your home, and first impressions are everything. Your front door. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage and Entry Doors. We're the experts for every opening in your home. Not only your garage door, but your windows and your front door too. Replace your dated single front door with a gorgeous double door. No matter the size of your entrance, we can customize and install the double doors of your dreams. Make your front door grand. Get started at all4seasonsgarages.com.
Sell your home and get paid twice? Orchard makes it happen. Get cash up front to buy now, then more when your old place sells for top dollar. Go to orchard.com or call 1-844-421-SELL.
Nothing but Willie Nelson B-sides on his 92nd birthday. What song is this, Longoria?
It is not a B-side at all.
No?
No.
I hear this. I don't go, oh, Willie Nelson classic.
That's country music right there. Some good old fiddle.
All right. Anyway, happy birthday to 92 years old. We celebrate the life and times. He's still with us, by the way. It's just his birthday. He's 92. He's alive and well, and we're just honoring Willie Nelson. We're going to get to ABC News Justice and Homeland Security reporter Luke Barr in just a second with new deportation numbers, but getting more audio now from the press briefing that the Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent had. Here he was asked about ongoing negotiations with China.
Thank you so much, Caroline. Thank you, Mr. Secretary. The Chinese continue to say that the U.S. and China are not engaged in any consultation or negotiation on tariffs. You recently said you've talked to your counterpart, but more about, quote, traditional things like financial stability. So can you clarify, is the administration talking to Beijing specifically about tariffs or not?
Well, we're not going to talk about who's talking to whom, but I think that, over time we will see that the Chinese tariffs are unsustainable for China. I've seen some very large numbers over the past few days that show if these numbers stay on, Chinese could lose 10 million jobs very quickly, and even if there is a drop in the tariffs, that they could lose 5 million jobs. So remember that we are the deficit country. They sell almost 5 times more goods to us than we sell to them. So the onus will be on them to take off these tariffs. They're unsustainable for them.
And they are saying you guys are not talking about it. So is that true?
Look, they have a different form of government. They're playing to a different audience. So I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty, again, of who's talking to whom. But as I said, I believe for the Chinese, these tariffs are unsustainable.
Unsustainable for both sides, to be honest, TBH. But he did not answer the question there. The Trump administration says, talks are ongoing. China's saying, no, they're not. And the Treasury Secretary would not confirm whether those talks were going on or not. We'll continue to pull some audio from that Treasury Secretary interview. Stock market, Dow's up. So they liked what the Treasury Secretary had to say. NASDAQ's down 100, though. So mixed results on Wall Street thus far. All right, let's continue our team coverage of the first 100 days of the Trump presidency. Joining us from ABC News, it's Justice and Homeland Security reporter Luke Barr. Luke, good morning. At a briefing yesterday at the White House, Border Czar Tom Homan provided some updates on the deportation numbers and the border crossing numbers. What did the czar have to say?
Well, he touted really a successful 100 days of immigration. He touted large deportation numbers. He also said, that they're focusing on the worst of the worst, which they are, according to sources that we speak to. But, the Secretary of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, has said previously that the administration has deported 150,000 people in the first 3 months of the Trump administration, just over 3 months in that 100-day mark. And they say that the border is the most secure in American history.
What is the situation at the border right now compared to what it was in the previous administration?
Yeah, so right now, encounter numbers, so for the people that are arrested between ports of entry and at ports of entry, 22,000 in February and in March of 2025, which is a 93% decrease from the previous year 2024, over 100,000 people per month were encountered at the southern border, compared to over 11,000 in February and March, respectively. So they say that it's the most secure border in American history, and that apprehensions are down 93%.
What is the administration credit for that precipitous drop-off year to year of border encounters?
They attribute their policies. They have got the message out. They say that the border is closed, that people are not welcome to come to the border. There's also a couple of other factors, like, for example, CBP One, which is the app that allows for people to claim asylum, get asylum appointments. They closed that down, so that on average had 1,600 applications per day allowed at ports of entry. Right there, you're taking off a whole chunk of people per month. So different policies, they say, that they put in place are the reason for this border drop, they say.
ABC News Justice and Homeland Security reporter Luke Barr joining us on the Mark Arum Show. Did the border czar Tom Homan talk about any of the struggles the administration has had, specifically with the court system, like the Abrego Garcia deportation and all the court cases? Did that come up in the briefing yesterday?
Well, he certainly said that there was a lot, and this is something that that administration officials have said. I mean, I interviewed the acting ICE director in anticipation of the 100 days, and that was one of the things that he mentioned, which were these, quote, activist judges that allegedly, according to the acting ICE director, got in the way. And this is something that has been an administration talking point, for months now, as we've seen a lot of these cases being taken, in some cases, as you mentioned with the Abrego Garcia case, to the Supreme Court. So, it certainly is not just the border czar, but I think writ large an administration talking point that there are certain judges that, quote, get in the way of their immigration operations. But, I think that's all part of the process when you're dealing with a new administration. You're dealing with lawsuits and challenges, and how to navigate all those waters, in the first 100 days or so.
So what is the plan for the administration then, Luke? Just kick everything up to the Supreme Court and hopefully the rulings there will go their way?
Well, I mean, that plan remains to be seen. I think that they're going to work their way, as we kind of have seen with various. I mean, there's been so many immigration cases, just on so many different issues, from the birthright citizenship issue that's being held at the Supreme Court. I think a lot of these will be eventually heard at the Supreme Court because they have such constitutional issues at its core. But it remains to be seen, I think, what and how many will actually get there. Right, the Supreme Court only takes a certain amount of cases, so I think they'll focus on the sort of big picture, big constitutional issues, and kind of let the appeals courts rule on the other, maybe smaller matters.
Final question for you, Luke. Did we hear from the border czar yesterday commenting on the arrest of the judge in Wisconsin, which is, related to ICE and deportation? Did you talk about that at all?
Well, he certainly said that it is, something that the judges, they are, I mean, he's been making priority to go after judges that he says are, getting in the way of, the administration's activity in deporting migrants and whatnot. So it certainly is a focus of the administration to look at judges that they say are getting in the way, and as you mentioned in this case in Wisconsin, actually allegedly helping a migrant escape ICE. He was eventually caught and arrested. But it certainly is something that Tom Homan has been focused on, which is these quote-unquote activist judges.
Luke Barr, ABC News Justice and Homeland Security reporter. Luke, appreciate your time.
Thank you.
So today's 100 days into the second Trump presidency, and the numbers there from Luke are shocking. So there were 22,000 encounters along the southern border in February and March. I don't know what qualifies as an encounter, whether that's, hey, you're here, you can't be here, get away, I don't know what an encounter is. But there were 22,000 encounters at the southern border in February and March this year during the first 100 days of the Trump administration. The same time period last year, February and March of 2024, there were 378,000 encounters at the southern border. So a drop from 378,000 encounters down to 22,000 encounters along the southern border. That is a massive drop-off. And as we hit the 100-day mark and President Trump's poll numbers have been flailing, except for the border. Like the border, he's still net positive there, and those numbers probably explain why. Speaking of the 100 days of the Trump presidency, Chris Cuomo from News Nation is going to join us live at 11:35. We're going to talk about the first 100 days of the second Trump administration. Greg Bluestein is going to be live at 10:35, talking all things politics. And 10:18, don't forget, I'm going to give you another keyword in the 5K day bonus blitz. Chance for you to win $1,000 here on 95.5 WSB. I do want to update this story, Deborah. It made me chuckle. It has to do with a Dollar General store. You always get some weird stories out of a Dollar General. This one takes the case, though. What can you tell us?
All right, so check your 20s if you've been using cash at the Dollar General, because police are asking for help to identify a woman who was caught using those fake $20 bills at the Dollar General down in Sonoya. I guess she bought like $200 worth of gift cards, which, you know, she can use anywhere there. But surveillance cameras were able to catch her license plate number, and they traced that back to another person who actually rented the car, and that guy has been busted for leaving a bag of counterfeit cash behind in a hotel. So they already have him on his radar. Now they're just trying to find the woman associated with it.
All right. Do you think I consider that a smart criminal or a dumb criminal, Deborah?
I'm going to say a dumb criminal.
Yeah. That's a dumb criminal. Listen, if you're going to partake in the passing of counterfeit money, you have to do it wisely. You can't go to Dollar General, where no one goes to Dollar General and says, give me $200 in gift cards, right? And that's 10 fake 20s you're giving them. You got to be judicious when you're using the fake money. I had an acquaintance years ago, Nicky the Fish. He was mobbed up, and he would always have about $20,000 in counterfeit cash with him at all time. But he used it judiciously. He would go to Mardi Gras and bring fake money down there, because you're in a bar in Mardi Gras, it's jammed, it's crazy. Bartender's not going to have time to like look at Nicky the Fish. He was an organized crime, so he was a smart criminal. I'm not endorsing anything counterfeit, by the way. Don't do it. But to do what she did at Dollar General, that's just a dumb criminal. If Vinny, in the future, if you decide to get into the counterfeiting game, you got to be smart in how you spend it. Crowded bars. Hookah, like a hookah lounge, right? You're a hookah guy?
No, I'm not
a hookah guy. All right. Anyway, that's a dumb criminal. All right. Thank you, Deborah. When we come back, we're going to update our top local stories. You're not going to believe what a bakery is banning. This isn't like the Colorado, I'm not going to bake you a gay wedding cake ban, but they're banning something from their customers to do when they enter the bakery. I'll tell you that after we check the ride around town. Live with the latest, it's Mike Shields.
And Mark been watching a crash in the left lane on the east side perimeter, I-285 northbound, the outer loop right at Church Street, exit 40. Just past that, any word of maybe new trouble at Covington Highway, exit 43. So starting to be slow as you leave I-20 into Cobb County. And all volume on the downtown connector, 7585 northbound, still jammed up from 166 getting past I-20. This report is brought to you by VyStar Credit Union. No matter where life takes you, VyStar Credit Union is there with banking for every moment, big and small. They give back to the greater Atlanta area because they truly care. VyStar Credit Union, do good, bank better. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
The morning rush hour, the evening rush hour, and everything in between.
Slow spots are starting to build up the east side perimeter on 285 north.
Tune in 24/7 with the Triple Team Traffic
We've
Center.
had several breakdowns, including one in the express lane.
Your source for Atlanta's traffic.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
Is your heating and cooling system so old you can't remember when it was installed? If so, it's time to get protection from Reliable Heating and Air. Hey, friends, it's Mark Aram. Check this out. Let Reliable Heating and Air protect your AC from breakdowns and your budget. Just $14.99 a month. They're licensed, bonded, and insured. No deductibles, no claims or paperwork, no service fees, just coverage for your aging AC and heating systems. Get all the information you need online at reliableair.com.
Nothing warms your home like natural light.
It's time to brighten yours. Add more daylight and bigger views with Infinity from Marvin Fiberglass Windows.
Hi, it's Jonathan and Ted from North Georgia Replacement Windows.
Our windows come with narrow frames giving you more light. Experience the Infinity from Marvin Fiberglass difference at your home or in our new Alpharetta showroom.
Window and door shopping made simple.
0% interest available.
Infinity from Marvin Replacement Windows, yeah!
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-2798. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-2798. That's 800-575-2798. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Dad, one more horsey ride, please.
This living room rodeo moment made possible by Emory Orthopedics and Spine Center. When Dad needed back surgery, he came to Emory. The difference? Emory's among the highest in patient satisfaction and best surgical outcome rates in the nation. And Emory uses the most advanced research developed by our top surgeons to get Dad's back surgery done right the first time. Giddy up. EmoryHealthcare.org/orthodifference.
Termites, like me, eat 24/7, and your home is in their path of destruction. Mark Aram here for Breda Pest Management. You want a complete barrier from Breda, not just a bait station. If your current service only inspects the outside, how do you know the inside of your home's termite-free? Breda is better at beating termites. Only Breda inspects and protects the outside and inside. Plus, your termite rate is locked in for 10 years.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
Jason Hansen, former CIA officer here, with an urgent warning. The 2025 tariffs are a matter of national security, and retaliation can become an extreme national threat. Every American with a 401k, IRA, or retirement account should act now before it's too late. I urge everyone to protect and secure their hard-earned money with physical gold and silver before we see massive retaliations from China and an extreme market of volatility. I only trust Advantage Gold with my money. They're the #1 precious metals company in America, and they can help you secure your retirement with physical gold and silver. To get started, just call 800-324-9902 and request their free gold investment guide and learn how you can own physical gold and silver, tax-free and penalty-free. But don't wait. This threat is real. Call 800-324-9902. Now again, that's 800-324-9902. Call right now and get your free gold investment guide today, or visit AdvantageGold.com. Past performance may vary. Always consult with a tax and financial professional.
Whiskey River, take my mind.
Do you have my reservation?
Yes, we do. Unfortunately, we ran out of cars.
But the reservation keep the car here. That's why you have the reservation.
Not only is it Willie Nelson's 92nd birthday, but happy birthday, Jerry Seinfeld. He turns 71 today. Deborah, write this down. April 29th of 2026, I am off. I am officially declaring Jerry Seinfeld's birthday a Jewish holiday.
Okay.
And
yeah.
tell our boss, too. He can take it off, too. I think
our boss will be okay with
I think that should be, it's either him or Mel Brooks. Either of their birthdays should be a Jewish holiday moving forward. Ironically, one of the most famous episodes of Seinfeld was in a bakery, right? The black and white cookie. Look to the cookie, Elaine. Look to the cookie. Remember that, Longoria? Fantastic episode. I
do.
There was a hair in the babka, which leads us to this bakery story, Deborah. This made me laugh. This bakery is banning what from their establishment?
All right, this bakery in New Jersey, of all places, a New Jersey bakery is banning customers from wearing too much cologne when they come into the store. It's the Century Bakery. It's in Bridgeton, and it says that people come in wearing it so much it actually affects the workers, and some of the workers with asthma have a hard time helping them, and it's allergy season right now, so that just adds to it. So if you go in there and you're wearing too much Drakkar, they're going to say, hey, use the drive-thru instead.
So give me the town in Jersey again.
Bridgeton?
Bridgeton?
I think.
All right,
yeah.
not Bridgerton. I'm going to ask my buddy up in. I've never heard of that. I'm envisioning a really old community where you have a lot of old ladies who douse themselves in perfume and then go to the bakery, and it overwhelms the. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a scenario.
When I think of New Jersey, I think of the dudes in the leather jackets that wear like
with
a lot of
Drakkar,
cologne.
All right. The Jersey Shore kids.
Yes.
Axe body spray, just interesting. Now, to be fair, Maya and I did go to a fancy sushi restaurant a couple years ago, and they requested that you don't wear cologne or perfume to the restaurant because that, it not for allergies or anything, but it could interfere with the taste of I don't know.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I didn't.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but a bakery, that's hilarious. Look to the cookie, Elaine. Look
you would
to
think
the
the
cookie.
bakery would overwhelm the smell of
the bread and the cinnamon
Yeah.
buns and everything. Interesting. All right, so I'm going to ask my Jersey buddy about what's going on in Bridgeton. All right, yesterday we told you a big election in Canada. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney's Liberal Party won the federal election. CBS News senior White House and political correspondent Ed O'Keefe says the Carney rode an anti-Trump platform to victory.
In January, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau stepped aside in favor of Mark Carney, the former head of the Bank of Canada, who cast himself as a competent crisis manager. His opponent, Conservative Pierre Poilievre, had adopted Trump-style politics, believing that focusing on fighting the media and raising concerns about woke policies would work. But with the president here saying that Canada should become the 51st state and that tariffs are going to go into place, the Conservatives tanked, and last night, Poilievre lost his seat in Parliament.
Yeah, we talked about that yesterday with Eric Erickson. 6 months ago, the polling showed doom for the Liberal Party in Canada. And then President Trump started talking about annexing Canada, making it a 51st state. And miraculously, the Liberal Party won again in Canada. So just want to update the election for our neighbors to the north. Sabrina's got your news, weather, and traffic. When we come back, declining birth rates and how it could impact us economically. We'll go in depth on that. And coming up in just a little bit in the 10 o'clock hour, another keyword in the 5K a day bonus blitz. Chance for you to win $1,000 right here. Social media is active throughout the show at Mark Arum and at WSB Radio.
Seeing things that I may never see again. I can't wait to get on the road again.
WSB Atlanta, WSBB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
History had the gold rush, then came the oil boom, then the tech boom, but right now, it's the Wi-Fi boom, and Xfinity Wi-Fi is booming. Hey, it's Mark Arum back with you. Streaming, booming. Gaming, booming. Video calls, booming. Even when your boss schedules a meeting, that definitely could have been an email. And now you can get Xfinity Internet and mobile together all in one plan. It's the ultimate power couple. Wi-Fi Power Boost from Xfinity Mobile gives you faster, secure Wi-Fi speeds at home and on the go, so your Wi-Fi is booming wherever you are. Now through June 23rd, new customers can get 400 megabit Xfinity Internet with free equipment and unlimited internet data, and get one unlimited 5G mobile line included, all in one plan, all for $40 a month for 1 year. Visit Xfinity.com to learn more. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Taxes, fees, extra. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity Internet. Reduced speeds after 30 gigs of data usage. Data thresholds vary after 1 year. Rate increases to $110 a month. After 2 years, regular rates apply to all services up to $143 a month. Actual speeds vary.
As Georgia's homegrown leader in business insurance, Builders partners with thousands of local businesses to safeguard workers and help them return to their lives after injuries. Explore reliable workers' compensation solutions at BLDRS.com. Builders, insurance built strong.
Anyone on the roads in North Georgia knows that tractor trailers are everywhere. For my friends in the motorcycle community, a distracted big rig could change your life forever. Hey, it's Eric Von Hessler. Steel Horse Law specializes in motorcycle accidents involving trucks, and they can protect you from big corporations and their armies of lawyers. Steel Horse Law can help you get back on your feet, medical bills paid, back to work, and your case resolved. Schedule your free accident evaluation at steelhorselaw.com.
Hi, it's Tim Andrews for My Roofer FGA Roofing. Are you considering a new roof but not sure when you'll be able to get it in the budget? FGA Roofing is offering a 000 offer this month. 0 down payment, 0 interest for 12 months, and 0 monthly payments. Search FGA Roofing for a free quote today.
News, weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hi there, good morning. It is 10 o'clock. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by TE Certified Electrical Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Our top story, job cuts at Atlanta-based UPS.
UPS is preparing for big operational changes following its earlier decision to cut its Amazon delivery volume by more than 50%. The company announced this winter that shift is part of a broader strategy to prioritize more profitable partnerships. As part of these changes, UPS plans to reduce its operational workforce by about 20,000 positions in 2025 and will close 73 leased or owned facilities by the end of June. Additionally, the company has joined others in withdrawing its full-year financial guidance, citing uncertainty over the potential impact of new tariffs. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
Partly cloudy, warm and humid today. Highs around 82. An isolated pop-up shower cannot be ruled out, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up in just over 2 minutes. Happening now, polls are open in Cobb County for 2 seats on the county commission in today's special general election.
The races are in Cobb County's redrawn districts 2 and 4. Because of the new maps, Election Director Tate Fall says residents should verify their registration and assign district before heading to the polls.
Log on to your MVP, double check your commission district, and then if you're in 2 or 4, review your sample ballot and go vote.
She says it's a quick and easy process as voters choose between 2 candidates. Party control on the commission is on the line as the board currently includes 2 Republicans and 2 Democrats. Cheryl Castro, 95.5 WSB.
Polls are open until 7 o'clock tonight. Today marks 100 days since President Trump took office.
Small Business Administrator Kelly Loeffler says of the past 100 days,
they have marked one of the greatest American comebacks in our nation's history.
She says the president has delivered for the American people.
American optimism is back.
But Democratic U.S. Senator Jon Ossoff says this period has been one of chaos.
And my view is that the American people have no interest in this new experiment in monarchy.
Trump will deliver a speech about his first 100 days in Michigan tonight. Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
A Douglas County jury finds a man guilty of multiple charges of involuntary manslaughter and reckless conduct. Prosecutors say 45-year-old Christopher Graff and his wife were both intoxicated and fighting while driving down I-20. Graff, who was in the passenger seat, flung himself from the moving vehicle while it was going about 80 miles an hour. He ended up in the middle of the interstate. A semi-truck swerved to miss him, and that caused several other vehicles to crash, killing 2 and injuring several others. Graff has been sentenced to 20 years now behind bars. An EMS driver from College Park convicted of raping a woman. 47-year-old Bruce Andre Hines convicted of raping the woman who had fallen asleep in her car back in March of 2023. This happened on Glenwood Road in Decatur. The victim testifying that she recalled being woken up by an EMS driver, later identified as the defendant. He told her that a call had come in to police reporting a person asleep in a car and that he had canceled the call so that she wouldn't go to jail. He then moved her car and the emergency SUV to an abandoned parking lot, then got into the car with her where she says she fell asleep again, but then woke up to Hines assaulting her in the car. Hines has now been sentenced to 25 years behind bars. For the first time ever, there are now more than 7 million Americans living with Alzheimer's disease. The Alzheimer's Association's 2025 Disease Facts and Figures report finds 7.2 million Americans are living with the disease, and nearly 4 in 5 say that they would want to find out if they have it before even developing symptoms. Here in Georgia, more than 183,000 people are currently living with Alzheimer's. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow right now is up 113 at 40,341. NASDAQ is down slightly, and so is the S&P. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. We turn to smiling Mark McKay. He has a look at the roads.
Thanks, Sabrina. East Side Perimeter is going to recover now in Clarkston. Crash that was partially blocking the left lane has completely cleared out of that lane. 285 north at Church Street, exit 40. You'll still be on and off the brakes, leaving Tucker, trying to work your way across the North Side Perimeter through Doraville into Dunwoody. Still a tight fit on I-85 southbound as you leave Highway 316. Closer you get to 285, the better. Downtown Connector is still stacked up on the connector northbound, 75-85 north, leaving Langford Parkway past I-20, and a tight fit trying to get onto I-20 on the east side. I see stacked up traffic leaving Flat Shoals on the outer loop, 285 east and north, approaching I-20. Smiling Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Partly cloudy today with an isolated pop-up shower possible, high 82, lows tonight in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with a few pop-up showers, high 83. Partly cloudy on Thursday, high 84.
66 degrees in Alpharetta, 66 in Canton. Here in Midtown Atlanta, we have 67 degrees. More news at 10:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Welcome back to the show and a good Tuesday morning to you. Mark Arum here, you there. It's 10:05, 5 minutes after 10 o'clock. This is the Mark Arum Show, live Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to noon on 95.5 WSB. The whole gang with us today. Deborah is the executive producer of the show. Longoria is the stoic Eskimo on the other side of the takeout window. Vinny Drip screens your calls in 13 minutes. I'm going to give you a keyword in the 5K day bonus blitz. Chance for you to win $1,000. Bottom of the hour, Greg Bluestein from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, live in studio, talking all things politics. 11:05, David Welch, the automotive expert from Bloomberg, is going to join us. Apparently, there is a possibility of easing automotive tariffs coming from the Trump administration. We'll go in depth with that. And today is the 100th day of the Trump presidency in his second term. Chris Cuomo from News Nation is going to join us at 11:35 and reflect on the first 100 days of the Trump presidency. There was a big headline this morning out of the press briefing with Secretary of State Bessent and Caroline Leavitt, the press secretary. By the way, let me check the markets to see how they are reacting. Dow's up $163. All right, so when Bessent talks, the market likes it. But the big controversy was about Amazon now including in your receipts when if you're an Amazon Prime member and you order stuff. What do you order on Amazon, Deborah, by the way? Is that too personal to ask?
What don't I order on Amazon?
You're an Amazon super user, right?
Yeah, almost every week there's a package.
So Amazon decided that they're now on the receipts are going to say what costs what. Why the product you bought went up, and it's because of the tariff. So they're going to put that on the receipt. I've seen that in restaurants too, like a tariff tax, and but it's becoming the new normal. But apparently the White House not happy about this, calling it I forget the exact terminology that Caroline Leavitt used, but maybe Stacey Lynn has what she called it.
Next to a product's price tag, Amazon says it will now show how much the president's tariffs will add on, which Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt called
a hostile and political action.
That's it.
She says it's no surprise and cited a Reuters report from 2021 that said
Amazon has partnered with a Chinese propaganda arm. So this is another reason why Americans should buy American.
Stacey Lynn, CBS News, the White House.
Interesting story. I'm not surprised. I think we're going to see this more and more. The two big China clothes companies, Shimu and Temu. What are the two companies?
Shein and Temu.
Shein and Temu. They are now putting that on their receipt, saying this T-shirt, this dress would have cost $25. The reason it's $47 now is because of the tariffs. I don't know if that's a political move or vindictive or whatever, but I think as a consumer, I want to know. Like when I go to a restaurant, I want to know if the gratuity is already included. Like, you're already at it 18%. Okay. Or, hey, there's a surcharge for X, Y, and Z. I want transparency on when you get an oil change, right? The receipt is like $5 fee for disposing of the old oil or like I want that. So I'm okay with Amazon doing that. And maybe that will curb my spending on Amazon, knowing, we're getting whacked with the tariffs there. But one more Amazon story, Deborah. This is not related to the tariffs, but I guess is this Jeff Bezos feeling second fiddle to Elon Musk, right?
Maybe.
So Elon Musk has the SpaceX, and Jeff Bezos is like, I'm going to go to space now too. And then Elon Musk has Starlink, the satellite service. And now Jeff Bezos is like, I want to get in the satellite game, right? Is that what they're doing? Amazon's going to launch satellites?
I guess that's how billionaires play games. But yeah, if you already spend a lot of money on Amazon like I do, if you use their streaming source like I do, well, they're going to expand and make an internet service. So they just launched Project Kuiper, and it's going to be much like Starlink and what we know about it. They're going to launch satellites into orbit, and that'll be able to provide connectivity in possibly places that aren't accessible to internet as easily. They're estimating it to be about $10 billion to get it going. Now, it doesn't know when we're going to have it, but yeah, if you're familiar with Starlink, again, it's about the same thing.
I love that in 2025, it's just like, we'll launch a satellite. It's second. We'll send a rocket. We'll send Gayle King to space. Why not? Have we decided that really happened or not? Whether Katy Perry because the internet still doesn't believe that Katy Perry.
They still don't believe that.
Yeah. Anyway, but we're 2025. It's like, we can do all this stuff now. Interesting. All right, so a couple of big Amazon stories we're going to follow there. All right, joining us now, correspondent Rory O'Neill. Rory, good morning. Out of the pandemic, we're used to shortages, right? We just dealt with an egg shortage back in the pandemic. There was a toilet paper shortage. I did not see this coming, though, a shortage of 18-year-olds.
All right, let me have you do a little math for me. Can you help me out here? I'm giving you plenty of build-up time to brace yourself. It's 2025. What was happening 18 years ago?
2007.
No? All right.
The crisis, the financial crisis?
the Great Recession. And a lot of people said, ooh, the real estate market is falling apart. My home value just went down by a third. Let's not have a baby right now. And well, here we go. Now we're feeling the impact of that. So we're seeing a lot fewer 18-year-olds. So this may be the last class, this graduating class in the next month or two, maybe the last class we see of this size for a while. And these numbers fall off sharply, according to the statistics. And by the way, if you want to go back and look, we now have 2.7 million fewer college-age students than we did at the start of the last decade, 2010.
Interesting.
So you've got colleges and universities scrambling to find students. And in fact, in the first half of 2024, we were seeing a college close every week in this country because they just don't have the student population out there. And look, I understand there are cultural, financial arguments about do I need college, all that stuff, but we just don't have the bodies to go with this.
So interesting. Now, Rory, is this a blip in the radar? Do we see the birth rates go up? Will we have plenty of 18-year-olds 5 years from now?
Not naturally born, let's put it that way. So unless there are big changes to immigration policies that allows for more legal migration, census figures now project that there's going to be another drop-off in the number of 18-year-olds starting in 2033. And by 2039, there will likely be 650,000 fewer of them per year than there are now. That's about 15% lower per year. So this has significant ramifications beyond just the college applications. It means we're going to have to do something about the workforce. And then on the back end of that, who's paying all those Social Security and Medicare bills, right? We need that healthy 23-year-old who doesn't use the healthcare system but pays into it in order to fund my retirement and my use of Medicare and Medicaid 10, 20 years from now.
Wow, so interesting. Correspondent Rory Odell joining us on the Mark Arum Show. I'm going to expand it even further outside of colleges. You know, you turn 18. When I was graduating high school, it was, are you going to join the workforce? Are you going to go to college, or are you going to join the military? I would imagine that's going to have a drag on military recruitment as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, when we've had this better economy post-COVID, we've seen more applications or fewer applications into the military already because unemployment has been so low. Those 18-year-olds have options. Look, this is a terrible way to say it, but in bad economic times, when 18-year-olds graduate, there aren't jobs out there. A lot of them say, well, I'm going to go to the military. So it's seen as a sort of a plan B. But when the economy has been, or I should say at least employment has been high enough, you've gotten more people instead going into the private sector rather than serving. So, you know, I think that's also going to depend on what the economy looks like going forward as far as the employment picture, if more and more people choose to serve their country.
So the Great Recession caused this dip 18 years later. And listen, we're in uncertain economic times right now. I wonder if couples are having the same conversation, and I'll do more math for you. 18 years ahead of us, 2043, Rory, are we going to be talking about this same story?
Well, right. And I think we're going to say, gee, look what happened to China and Japan that are already going through it. I mean, so they're going through it now. This is really what's going to be happening to us probably in the next decade or so. I don't know if you saw 60 Minutes this weekend. That was specifically what they talked about in Japan, how government programs are trying to get more citizens to marry and to have babies. There was one town they profiled, the village, had their first childbirth in 20 years. You know, that's how far off these numbers have fallen in some places.
Unbelievable. Really interesting story. Rory, as always, appreciate your time. Have a great day, buddy.
Thanks, Mark.
Now, we're not to the level of Japan yet as far as declining birth rates. It's significant there. I mean, it's crazy. They have some crazy incentives for families to procreate in Japan. We're not there yet, but that kind of makes sense. If we go back 18 years ago, the Great Recession, I can understand couples, you know, newly married couples going, hey, I don't know, do you want to have a baby now? We can barely make ends meet. Longoria, your oldest daughter is now 12 years old. Was that a conversation that you and Leslie had prior to either of your daughters? Like, hey, we want to have a kid, but can we afford it? Is that, or you guys are just so well off it didn't even...
No. I mean, you know, obviously it's always a concern, you know, you're always thinking about that. But yeah, I mean, we knew we could at least afford one of them.
Yeah,
the
second one was a surprise.
And I knew we have help. You know, my mom, my grandmother help us out financially a lot with that kind of stuff. So,
but I could see that similar conversations going on right now with young couples. You know, with the financial uncertainty and the tariffs and everything. Like maybe couples are like, hey, we'll wait let's wait 18 months.
Now,
before.
you know, if it was now, yeah, definitely. I think we would put that into major consideration because it's just, I mean, just for us to feed the family, grocery wise, it's expensive.
Well, I'm wondering, and Mom, if you're listening, hit me on the text line. So I was born in December of '73, and I know they weren't great economic times. They're coming out of the Vietnam War. It was prior to the lines at the gas tank during the Carter administration, all that. But I wonder if that was, and my parents were super young when they had me. I wonder if that was a concern. Like, do we have this little schmezball now, or do we wait for? It's something. Unless it's a happy accident, like Longoria's second daughter. Does she know that she was a happy accident?
Both of them were.
Both of them were planned.
No, both of them were. I mean, they weren't really planned, but both of them were.
Yeah,
came as a surprise.
I wonder though, with so few 18-year-olds now, if that might reduce the cost of college tuition, or give 18-year-olds, if there's so much fewer 18-year-olds graduating from high school right now. Does that give them a leg up when it comes to, there's fewer applicants, so maybe I can get into a better college than if there was a full flight of 18-year-olds graduating from, I don't know, a lot of ramifications. Most notably, though, for folks our age, is, if we don't have this workforce, this young workforce coming in, paying into Social Security and Medicare, what's that mean for our checks if we ever get them? I don't think we're going to get them, Deborah. I don't
think so.
I don't honestly. I think by the time we're eligible to collect Social Security, it's going to be like $100. They're going to give us a $100 gift card to Dollar General or something. Like, I know you paid in your whole working life, Aaron, but sorry, we're insolvent. Which is why it's very important to win $1,000 right now from WSB Radio. We're going to check traffic after I give you the 5K a day bonus blitz keyword. All right, you guys ready? Here it comes. 5K a day bonus blitz keyword. Yeah. 10 a.m. keyword is shop. S-H-O-P, shop. Enter the keyword shop into the WSB Radio app or at WSBradio.com/cash. You have until 10:30 a.m. to enter the keyword, win $1,000. The keyword is shop, S-H-O-P, the normal way, not the old English way, S-H-O-P. Don't forget, if you get a phone call after 10:30 from a number you do not recognize, answer it. Could be us telling you just won $1,000. Again, the 10 a.m. keyword, shop, S-H-O-P. Good luck. And good luck on the roads. It's been up and down all morning. Let's get the latest live from the 24-hour traffic center and Smiling Mark McKay.
All right, Mark, watching 285 delays, trying to get onto I-20 on the east side. Right lanes are slowing. 285 east and north, leaving Flat Shoals, exit 48. Onto that I-20 eastbound ride. Westbound through the work zone is slow. Sluggish, let's call it, leaving Panola Road to I-285. A little crowded on the west side. Right lanes as you leave Fulton Industrial Boulevard into the I-285 interchange. Midtown, downtown Atlanta connector northbound, still a bit of a chore as you leave 166 Langford Parkway up to I-20. And our own Kobe Dawkins spotted a slowdown in Midtown caused by an armored vehicle that stalled out 10th Street at the downtown connector. This sport sponsored by Georgia United Credit Union. Ready for a financial partner that puts you first? Discover the difference at Georgia United Credit Union. Visit gucu.org/join, insured by NCUA. Smiler Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
Passion. It's the difference between getting it done and being exceptional. For your home's exterior renovation, hire a company passionate about your project. Trust the Plus. Painting Plus.
Hi, I'm Charlie. My passion for high-quality remodeling began when I started my business at just 15. Now we have grown to the Plus family of businesses. If you hear the Plus, it's us.
If your home's exterior has it, the Plus can improve it. Painting Plus. Siding, gutters, windows, decks, porches, roofing, and more. Trust the Plus. PaintingPlus.com.
This is Window Nation, your source for affordable replacement windows at the highest quality. So if you've got old, drafty, sticking, or leaking windows, you need the experienced pros at Window Nation. You can pay a lot less and still get the premium windows you're dreaming of. Their custom windows are guaranteed to be a perfect fit, and they're backed by the best warranty in the industry. Go to GetWindowNation.com for your free estimate. And for a limited time, buy 4 windows, get 4 free, plus no interest for 2 years.
Hey, it's Shelley Winter here from my good friends at PalmettoSleep.com. Let's talk about a serious business, sleep apnea. I suffer from it, and whether you've been diagnosed with it or afraid you have it, I have the solution. Palmetto Sleep is here to give you your life back. They make it easy to get help for sleep apnea because living without a good night's sleep is simply no way to live. Palmetto Sleep offers a custom-fitted oral appliance that opens your airway so you naturally breathe the way nature intended. The best part is they offer virtual consultations and in-home sleep testing. No overnight stays at a sleep center. Plus, Palmetto Sleep has all the doctors that you will need. Most appointments are virtual, and it's all covered by your private medical insurance. Don't suffer from another sleepless night or daytime fatigue like I do. Visit PalmettoSleep.com now. Visit PalmettoSleep.com. That's PalmettoSleep.com.
Mom and Dad seem different after a European-style holiday on MSC Cruises.
Carlos, Cloud and Yvette.
The ship had restaurants, shops, and nightlife.
Ah, La Galleria.
And of course, American touches like an aqua park and a sweets shop.
American je ne sais quoi.
Mom, you're from Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, Kevin.
Book now and save up to 30% off, plus kids sale free.
MSC Cruises. Let's holiday. To book, visit msccruises.com or contact your travel advisor. Restrictions apply. Ships registered in Panama and Malta.
Is your old AC unit ready for another sweltering Atlanta summer? Probably not. Hey, good news. Mark Aaron back from my friends at Reliable. Great new deal going on right now, guys. Any size AC, just $69.99 a month, 0 down, low monthly payments, and next day installation guaranteed, or they pay you $500. Any AC, just $69.99 a month. Book an appointment for a convenient time right on their website at reliableair.com and click on the schedule service button or call or text 770-594-9969.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for mouth-watering meals and appetizing ingredients. Our low prices add up to big savings, plus over $600 in digital coupons each week, and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. At Kroger, you always get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Mix and match 5 or more items for just 99 cents each with your card. Choose Campbell's Soup, Kroger brand pasta, North Sides, and more. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
You do not want to miss this. For the next few days, you can get 3 rooms of carpet clean plus a free hallway from the cleaning pros at Zero Res Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning for only $109 when you mention me, Chris Chandler. That's right, 3 rooms of carpet clean plus a free hallway for only $109. This offer is only available for a few more days, so schedule your appointment now before it's too late. Schedule online at ZeroResAtlanta.com. Zero Res, it's the right way to clean. Preparing to sell your home can be costly and time-consuming. Skip the hassles of a traditional home sale and sell your home stress-free with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. Hi, it's Chris Chandler. Say goodbye to the stress that comes with showings, open houses, and costly home repairs. My friends at Mark Spain Real Estate will sell your home fast and for maximum value. If you're thinking about selling your home, you can receive an all-cash guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. Listen to what their client Tyra had to say. Thanks to Mark Spain Real Estate, our home had several cash offers within 24 hours of it being on the market, and we closed in less than a month. With their guidance, the transaction was more seamless than we had ever hoped. Selling your home is one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make, so who you work with matters. With over 12,500 5-star reviews, trust the top real estate team in the U.S. to sell your home for top dollar. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today. That's markspain.com and start packing.
Lone Star belt buckle.
Incoming artillery. Salvos of 3 or 4 rounds, blocking the entire city, rolling across the rooftops as dawn breaks over downtown Saigon.
50 years ago today on WSB Radio, the Vietnam War ended as communist forces captured the South Vietnamese capital of Saigon. That was CBS newsman Peter Collins reported 50 years ago today. Wow. Thanks to all the folks that served in Vietnam for us. 50 years ago. That's remarkable. I do want to update what's going on with the Pope. Again, conclave is set to take off, I believe, May 7th. High-level meetings underway right now at the Vatican ahead of next week's conclave to select a new pope. CBS's Vicky Barker reports from the foreign desk in London.
Just like the film Conclave,
Sede Vacante,
or translated from the Latin,
the throne of the Holy See.
is vacant.
The process of choosing the next pope has already begun, with cardinals meeting regularly, behind closed doors, of course, to discuss what qualities and priorities the next pontiff should have, and to deliver speeches laying out their own vision for the church. No one's calling them campaign speeches, but that's essentially what they are.
Yeah.
Vicki Barker, CBS News.
Fascinating. Deborah, so again, watching the movie Conclave, there's a lot of things that prevent me from ever becoming a cardinal.
Yes.
I think a lot of things, but I was watching the movie going, it'd be pretty badass to be a cardinal in the Vatican. You know, just the setup and the way they live. And I don't want to say envious, but I'm like, that'd be pretty cool to be a cardinal. And then any cardinal right now has a chance to be the next pope.
Yeah.
Right. It could be any one of the 100 cardinals could be elected the next pope, which is, and they've all deep down got to be thinking like, oh, maybe it could be. Yeah, maybe.
I've always heard that it's like a huge honor, but no one really wants that responsibility.
But as they said in the movie, every cardinal already knows what pope name they would pick.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. All right. We'll update the conclave because I'm fascinated by that. Keyword, 5K day bonus blitz, SHOP, SHOP. You got 3.5 minutes to enter the word SHOP on the WSB Radio app or WSBRadio.com. Chance for you to win 1,000 doll hairs. Sabrina's got your news, weather, and traffic. When we come back, live in studio, Greg Bluestein from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Let's talk politics next on The Mark Arum Show.
She's a good-hearted woman in love with a good time man. And she loves him in spite of his ways that she don't understand.
Storm season is bearing down on us, and that means power outage season is here too. Dave Baker here for Brightbox Electrical. Being stuck in a dark, hot home as storms start to fire up is no fun. That's why my friends at Brightbox Electrical, a Coolray company, are now offering $500 off a Generac home standby generator, and if you purchase now, you'll receive a 2-year maintenance and monitoring plan for free. So don't be left in the dark or the heat. Visit brightboxelectrical.com to schedule your appointment.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
Atlanta DIY landlords, listen up. If you're exhausted from managing your rental properties all by yourself, my friends at Renters Warehouse Atlanta offering a 90-day test drive. Hire Renters Warehouse to manage your rental property for a low flat monthly fee as low as $115. If you're not satisfied at any time in the first 3 months, you can fire them. Get your management fees back. What do you get for that low flat monthly fee? A dedicated property management team, maintenance coordination, move in and move out property condition reports, advanced tenant screening with a 9-month tenant warranty, professional photography and videography, lease renewal processing and negotiations, online rent collection, monthly owner cash flow statements, and more. Renters Warehouse, so confident you'll love their service, they want an addition for your business. Choice is yours. Keep DIYing or see how Renters Warehouse can make your life easier. Start your 90-day test drive today. Go to rwatlanta.com or call 404-662-2322, 404-662-2322.
At Shane Company, we've been engagement ring experts for almost 100 years. We have the largest selection of diamonds and gemstones in stock. You don't have to wait to compare them side by side. Find the one that speaks to you at shaneco.com or in store. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather, traffic,
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 10:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by your Metro Atlanta AMCO dealers. The Cobb County School District removes American Psycho from the shelves of its libraries. The superintendent there says the move is part of trying to provide age-appropriate reading material for children. The district has banned dozens of books over the past year and a half. One Metro school district could reinstate its diversity, equity, and inclusion policies later on today.
The City of Decatur School Board meets this afternoon in a special called meeting to discuss putting its DEI policies back in place. Those policies were adjusted earlier this month to remove references to equity, following several executive orders from the White House. The district said it needed to make those changes to continue receiving federal funds. The district says today's meeting comes after preliminary injunctions against those executive orders from 3 federal judges. Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
All right, so what can you expect weather-wise today? Well, WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards says it's going to be partly cloudy, warm, humid. Afternoon highs around 82, and she says an isolated pop-up shower is not out of the question this afternoon. In Dunwoody, police are searching for 2 women accused of stealing nearly $500,000 from a business where they work. Police did not disclose the name of the business, but said that they were contacted after the business uncovered something off with their financial accounts. Arrest warrants have now been issued for 48-year-old Felicia Kelly and 45-year-old Nicole Allen. Anybody with information on these 2 women being asked to call Crime Stoppers. UPS is cutting some 20,000 jobs, and Jim Ryan reports it's all part of the Atlanta-based company's reconfiguration.
Along with the sweeping job cuts coming before the end of the year, UPS plans to close down 73 of its leased and owned buildings by the end of June. CEO Carol Tomei has told investors that the moves will save UPS $3.5 billion. Share prices jumped on that news.
And Coca-Cola sales are fizzling.
Coca-Cola is optimistic after reporting better than expected earnings in its first quarter, despite higher prices and weaker demand for soft drinks here in the U.S. The beverage giant has lost $11 billion so far this year, revenues down 2%, but reports case volume is up and expects its impact from tariffs to be fairly limited. Coke may be the nation's top-selling soda brand, but it actually makes most of its sales overseas. I'm Bloomberg's Monica Ricks for 95.5 WSB.
Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow right now is up 28 at 40,255, so the Dow's up slightly. NASDAQ is in negative territory, and so is the S&P. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Smiling Mark McKay joining us now from the 24-hour traffic center.
East side perimeter getting a little better. We are seeing delays, though, leaving Flat Shoals exit 48, working into the busy I-20 interchange with that work zone active this morning. That means westbound brake lights leaving Panola Road to I-285. Tapping the brakes out of Tucker, 285 north, leaving Lawrenceville Highway up to I-85. West side perimeter is moving slow through Cobb County. This is 285 north, leaving Hollowell Parkway, trying to get up to the Battery area and Truist Park at I-75. Still seeing a slow flow into downtown Atlanta. Connector northbound. You're on the brakes from University Avenue, exit 244 up to I-20. Smiler Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly cloudy today with an isolated shower possible, high 82, lows tonight in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, a few pop-up storms can't be ruled out, high 83. Partly cloudy on Thursday, high 84.
68 degrees in Woodstock. It's 67 right now in Johns Creek, and Commerce has 68 degrees. We'll have more news at 11 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Wednesday, starting at 5 a.m. on Atlanta's Morning News, following up the president's tariff announcement in Michigan, and streamline your streaming. Clark Howard tells us how. And again, you can win $1,000 on our 5K a day bonus blitz on 95.5 WSB.
We have many other options than the United States.
That's Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney. Big election yesterday in Canada. What about forthcoming elections here in Georgia? Greg Bluestein joins us live in studio 2 minutes away on the Mark Arum Show.
Post Malone presents the Big Ass Stadium Tour. 9-time Diamond certified and 16-time Grammy Award nominated phenomenon, Post Malone. His biggest headline tour, live at Mercedes-Benz Stadium May 11th. Global superstar, Post Malone, with Jelly Roll and special guest Sierra Farrell. Get tickets now at LiveNation.com.
Termites have one job: to eat 24/7, and your home is directly in their path of destruction. Mark Aram here for my pals at Breda Pest Management. When something threatens the safety of your home, you want a complete barrier, not just a bait station. Only Breda offers Termador, a liquid barrier system providing total protection. And Breda knows how critical it is to protect the inside of your home, not just the outside, from these eating machines. How are you supposed to know that your home's termite-free inside when your current termite company just walks around the outside of your house checking those bait stations? Breda is better at beating termites. So I want you to switch your termite protection to Breda now, and your rate locked in for 10 whole years, just like my house. Breda Pest Management, they handle bugs and critters like termites. Get started at BREDAPest.com.
Breda, Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
News is temporary, but your financial plan shouldn't be. I'm Wes Moss, and at Capital Investment Advisors, we're focused on helping retirees invest for income. This means building and managing a portfolio that delivers a steady stream of income, regardless of the scary headlines of the day. If you're ready to shift your focus from the headlines to your core pursuits in retirement, reach out to our team at yourwealth.com. That's YOUR wealth.com.
Your roof has been impacted. Heavy rain, strong winds, damaging storms. Home Fix It show host Dave Baker here. I recommend you get a free roof analysis from my award-winning roofer, Findlay Roofing. No obligation, no charge. FindlayRoofing.com. Roof.
Georgia.
Oh, yeah. Happy 92nd birthday, Willie Nelson, coming back to his rendition of Georgia. Willie Nelson's 92 years old. Welcome back to the show. Coming up in a half an hour, we're going to talk to David Welch from Bloomberg News. Possibly some adjustments to the automotive tariffs. 11:35, Chris Cuomo from News Nation's going to join us live, talking about the first 100 days of the presidency. But let's talk politics. Joining us live in studio from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, our longtime buddy, Greg Bluestein. Greg, you look phenomenal, my friend.
Than's for having me.
The best dressed man in the radio wing here at WSB Radio.
I'm wearing a tie because I have TV duty today.
Oh, understood. All right, let's dive into local politics. We've been hearing whispers, rumors, a couple of confirmations about who might run for Governor Kemp's mansion on West Paces Ferry. What do we know about who's in the race and who might get in the race? Let's start on the Democratic side of things.
Yeah, Mark, the big news is former Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms. She filed paperwork on Monday to start raising cash. She hasn't formally launched a campaign for governor yet, but she effectively has with filing this paperwork. And then last week, State Senator Jason Estevez, he's in the race. But Mark, the big news is also who's out of the race.
Okay.
Congresswoman Lucy McBath said a few weeks ago she's out. Her husband is sick and she's dealing with a medical condition. State Senator Jason Carter, former State Senator Jason Carter, who is the party's 2014 gubernatorial nominee, he's also out. His wife, unfortunately, is also sick.
Yeah, big blow to those are two big name statewide Democrats that are not going to be running because of family issues. But that opens the door for Senator Estevez, who, Deborah, is he going to be on this week?
He's going to be on Thursday.
All right, so we're going to have him in here. I want to know more about him because, and I'm here in Atlanta and I don't know much about him. So I imagine folks in Augusta, Columbus, Valdosta, the name recognition might not be there yet for him.
Yeah, he represents the Atlanta-based state Senate district. He also is the former chair of the Atlanta Public School Board. So he has deep Atlanta roots. And 60% of the Democratic electorate is here in the metro Atlanta area. So as long as he can build his name recognition. But you're right, Mark. I mean, not many people know of him outside of the political world, outside of the education world. And Keisha Lance Bottoms comes in with much higher name recognition.
But that could be a bad thing, right? Especially, no judgment for Miss Bottoms, but she did not run for re-election for the city of Mayor. Transition to the Biden administration, that's an albatross at this point, and politically is to be part of that Biden administration. I was actually kind of surprised that she's considering running the race simply because, that's still fresh of mind.
Yeah, look, she has a complicated legacy during her one term as mayor, and most people remember her for not what she did, but what she didn't do, which is run for re-election. So she's going to have to reconcile that as well as her tenure with Biden. I mean, that could help her in a Democratic primary, but that could, of course, hurt her in a November general election. We also don't know what the Trump effect will be. We know that Mayor Bottoms and Senator Estevez have both jumped, or at least early indications that they're going to run against essentially Donald Trump. We also know the Republicans who are either in the race or getting in the race will also hinge their campaigns around Trump. Chris Carr, the Attorney General, he's already in. He got in November. He has been trying to kind of align himself with the MAGA wing of the party. And Burt Jones, the Lieutenant Governor, he's expected to get in within a couple weeks. He is a Trump loyalist who might even enter the race with Trump's endorsement.
And we'll wait and see what other Republicans. I mean, those are two big name Republicans. There are whispers that Brad Raffensperger might consider a run there. He could certainly pull some independent votes and maybe even some Democratic votes if he enters the race. But there were also, and again, no judgment, but hearing that Stacey Abrams considering a third run for the governor's mansion, which blows my mind, to be honest. I mean, that the Democrats, I understand her desires and wishes, and all right, maybe this is the time. But the Democratic Party has to be saying, you had two shots. We've got to move on.
Yeah, she lost by 1.5 points in 2018. She lost by 7 points in 2022. We don't know what she's going to do. Now, she's the type of candidate who can enter next February, right? And just instantly have enough money, have the name recognition to potentially do very well in a Democratic primary. I did a sort of informal survey of 30 grassroots activists, and 25 of them or so said they don't want her to jump in.
And I don't blame them. And I mean, listen, I'm not, whatever she wants to do is fine, but you had two shots at the ring. That's it. Let's get some new names in there. Speaking of new names, are there names that we haven't heard yet on the Democratic side that could pop up and be like, oh, this is winnable? I could beat Keisha. I could beat Estevez. Do any outside chances we get some more candidates in there?
Yeah, I think we'll get some more, especially if Bottoms or Estevez don't really have a really strong opening. And we'll know in the next couple of weeks how much money they've raised. What the sort of momentum they have. One name we're also watching, of course, is former DeKalb CEO Michael Thurman, former state labor commissioner. So he's won statewide, but that was years ago. That was a different political era. He told me he's kind of torn on what to do. Right? He hasn't made up his mind yet, but he said it's a very narrow path. Even if Trump is unpopular next year, even if Democrats have their wind at their back nationally, it's still a very narrow path here in Georgia.
Greg Bluestein from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution joining us live here in studio on the Mark Arum Show. This election will be in the midterm election. And historically, midterm elections do not favor the party in power. And the Republicans currently have everything. Right? They have the Oval, they have the Senate, they have the House, which historically would give the minority party an advantage in a midterm race. And we had the two Senate victories for Democrats here in Georgia. People were calling it a purplish state. November, we saw that wasn't the case. Could this help whoever represents the Democrats, the fact that it's happening in a midterm election?
Yeah, and we've already seen Democrats push even further, be more confrontational with Donald Trump. Senator Jon Ossoff, he might be the most vulnerable Democratic incumbent up for election next year in the whole nation. He's the top target of national Republicans. He had a town hall Friday, Mark, where he was asked, hey, do you support impeachment? He said yes.
Yeah,
he said
I
it's
heard
not
that.
feasible right now, but he said he supports impeaching Donald Trump as long as Democrats have control of the House, because if not, it's impossible to do. So that just gives you a glimpse of the kind of the strategies, the approach that Democrats in office are taking, because their base wants a more aggressive head-on approach to Donald Trump.
The biggest obstacle possibly to an Ossoff reelection would be the elephant in the room, Governor Brian Kemp, right? If he decides to run for Senate, I don't know the poll numbers, but I would imagine he would be a heavy favorite against Senator Ossoff. Do we have any knowledge yet which way Governor Kemp's leaning?
Yeah, his daughter Jarrett just got married this past weekend. Congratulations to Jarrett. Yes, and he has his own sort of donors conference this weekend. We expect the decision in the next couple of weeks, though, and partly because he also doesn't want to. He doesn't want to be a drain, an anchor on his party. If he makes up his mind to run, he's going to go all in. If he doesn't, though, he wants to let the others, and there's a half dozen Republicans who are already making moves to run. He wants to give them the chance to go build their campaign apparatus. He knows he can't wait too much longer.
And I talked about this last week on the show. We heard from Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene saying if Governor Kemp doesn't run for the Senate seat, she would. And I'm not getting inside the brain of Governor Kemp. I don't have any inside knowledge, but to me, that might incentivize the governor to say, oh, I better run for Senate because Marjorie Taylor Greene running for the Senate seat might not be who we want to represent us.
Yeah, he's getting a tremendous amount of pressure. Tim Scott, who's the head of the National Republican Senatorial Committee, called Kemp his number one recruit for the whole nation. And he's seeing these polls that show him with the best shot of beating Jon Ossoff. There's also some personal animus there, right? There's no love lost between Kemp and Ossoff, especially over the last few years where Kemp felt like Ossoff was taking credit for some of his economic victories and things like that in Georgia. But also for Governor Kemp, it's not just about who else could get in. He has to make that decision on his own, right? This is a long-time commitment. Right, you're running a year or
6
so,
years,
and then you're essentially, you'll be pressured to run for another term.
Yeah.
So you're looking at 12 to 13 years, or a potential presidential run too.
That's the thing. I think that there, again, no inside knowledge, but I think there's a pathway for Governor Kemp to become a national political figure, and if maybe an election to the Senate would help that. Or just delay it, but I think there are a number of avenues for him moving forward politically. If Governor Kemp does not run for Senate, and aside from MTG, any other possible folks on the Republican side that could run it?
Yeah, there's 4 Congress members alone, right? MTG you mentioned, but also Buddy Carter down in Savannah, Rich McCormick up in Suwannee, Mike Collins. And I think I'm missing 1 or 2. But you also look at Insurance Commissioner John King, and we talked about Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger. He's more likely to run for governor, but there's an opening for him to Senate as well if Kemp doesn't run.
King has an unfair advantage in my estimation.
Why?
Because every time I'm filling up at Quick Trip, I got the little seal.
Yeah.
This is the Commissioner King says this is a good pump.
And every elevator.
Exactly right. What else do we need to hit politically here in Georgia? Is anything? I should tease the folks at the AJC have a poll coming out tomorrow.
Tomorrow morning, it's going to show us Donald Trump's approval rating at the 100-day mark. It's going to show us how things are faring in the Senate race against hypothetical matchups against Ossoff, and also give the mood about tariffs, about Trump's immigration policy, about a number of issues that are affecting us here in Georgia every day.
All right, that poll drops what time tomorrow?
5 a.m.
I'm up at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
All right, so email it to me as soon as it drops. You mentioned that the 100-day, today's the 100th day of the first 100 days of the second Trump presidency. I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you, his poll numbers are down in a lot of ways with the tariffs. They're still solid poll numbers on the border, et cetera. But there's been a lot of angst, mostly financial angst, with the second Trump presidency. Are we seeing an impact on that politically here in Georgia? Maybe the comet trail of fallout from what's going on in the White House.
Yeah, look, his supporters are still supportive of him, right? I mean, even as we talk about his approvals dipping, there's been a solid base of 38 to 45% of Republicans and Trump loyalists who won't ever leave him. And you know what? The other thing is his approval ratings were not that great last year either.
Sure.
And he still won.
Yeah.
Right. So there is a remarkable sense of durability with this coalition. And in Georgia, we have not seen any senior Republicans try to distance themselves from him. We've seen a few who've declined to comment on the tariffs, but most of top Republicans, they're embracing his agenda and they're saying, hey, this is a bitter pill to swallow when it comes to tariffs, but it will work out in the long run. We'll see if that's true.
He doesn't have to worry about the poll numbers now, but when the Republican primary hits for the 2028 presidential election and he's running again, he's going to want to get those poll numbers again. Greg, tell us where we can find your work, social media, all that good stuff.
AJC.com, and my Twitter handle is Bluestein.
At Bluestein, yeah.
At
and
Bluestein.
I tweeted at or X'd at Greg, and I just followed you on Blue Sky.
Blue Sky.
Yeah.
You can call it Bluestein. Bluestein on Blue Sky.
I call it Blue Ski, but it's Blue Sky. So good to have you in studio, my friend.
Thanks for having me.
All right, buddy. Greg Bluestein, phenomenal work as always for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Speaking of phenomenal work, no one better at checking the ride around town than the one and only smiling Mark McKay.
Appreciate it, Mark. Now we have a gridlock alert, unfortunately, for those who are heading north. Drivers headed north out of Woodstock into Holly Springs. JamCam shows bad crash. Only a right shoulder looks like open northbound 575 north of 6's Road. So if you are headed north toward Canton this morning, use Bell's Ferry or Highway 5. There are southbound delays, but northbound is jammed as this bad crash again sees only a right shoulder open 575 northbound just north of exit 11 6's Road. West Side Perimeter on and off the brakes as you roll through Cobb County heading toward I-75. The downtown connector is still a crawl, leaving University Avenue headed north toward I-20, and slow getting on I-20 from the outer loop of the perimeter, 285 east and north, leaving Flat Shoals. Smiler Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
On air,
Online,
on the app,
where you get your news,
is where you'll win.
Download the WSB radio app now and maybe win $1,000.
That is awesome.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
5 words, 5 times a day, every weekday.
This is Jill from Roswell, and I just won $1,000.
Just enter the word at WSBradio.com or on the WSB radio app.
Your next chance to win is coming up at 12.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz
On 95.5 WSB.
Storm season officially here, friends, and it wreaks havoc on your house and your roof. It's Mark Aram here. If you truly want peace of mind about your roof, and for many years to come, ask Dr. Roof about their lifetime warranty. Dr. Roof's warranty means they have your roof covered for the lifetime of your roof, and if anything comes up, Dr. Roof will take care of it. You never have to worry about a thing. They stand behind it since they've been in business for over 35 years. Now that is peace of mind. All the info online at drroof.com.
Attention men, are you suffering from ED or PE? Here's an important message from Choice Men's Health.
I'm Dr. Katz, and I'm the Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Are you performing the way you want to in the bedroom? If the answer is no, and you've tried Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra and were disappointed, then you need to come see us immediately. If you don't see results on the first visit, then there's no charge. Many of our patients have medical conditions such as diabetes, hypertension, obesity, and prostate problems. I'm happy to say that we have 98% success rate with all our patients. Our customized solutions will allow you to perform within 10 minutes and last an hour and even longer. You can regain your love life and tackle your ED and PE problems. Guys, your partner will never complain again. Our clinic has the most affordable prices, so if you visit other clinics and you're not completely satisfied, then you need to call Choice Men's Health.
Regain your love life regardless of your age or medical history. Choice Men's Health guarantees results on your first visit or you pay nothing. Call now, 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170.
This is Scott Slade, and I'm ready for air conditioning season. Ragsdale Heating and Air has already checked out my system, so I know it's right. Get to know the good people at Ragsdale before summer arrives. Right now, you can take up to $1,700 off a new Carrier home comfort system. And that comes with Ragsdale's own trusted 15-year parts and labor warranty. And if your current system just needs some attention, take advantage of Ragsdale's $79 AC tune-up offer. You can trust Ragsdale for plumbing and electrical work, too, when you go to ragsdaleair.com or call them. Ragsdale is the name I know you can trust.
Is your financial advisor offering you up to a 30% upfront bonus? Are they promising you up to 10% growth per year guaranteed for your retirement income? If not, you need a new financial advisor. I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. If you plan to retire within the next 10 years, don't wait only to find out it's too late. I've seen hard-working folks like you retire only to be required to go back to work, all because their advisor told them guarantees like these were too good to be true. They're not. That's up to $30,000 up front or up to $10,000 per year on $100,000, all guaranteed for retirement income. Don't work when you're supposed to be retired. And if any financial advisor tells you it's too good to be true, they simply don't have the options we do. Call Trajan today at 404-390-4000.
Annuity guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company.
In these uncertain economic times, you want the most bang for your buck. Am I right? You want to make sure the money you're spending gets results. It's Mark Aram back from my friends at Advanced Hair. That's what you get at Advanced Hair. You get bang for your buck, and you get a guarantee that Advanced Hair is going to regrow your hair. This is not a pill or a lotion subscription that helps retain what you have. Instead, Advanced Hair offers the proven guaranteed solution that regrows your hair where it's currently gone. Quick, simple, one-day treatment, and your real hair begins to regrow the very next day, and it's guaranteed for life. Takes just one visit, but first you need a free consultation, guys. Schedule now, 470-660-HAIR or advancedhair.com. And if you move forward, you get $250 off plus 250 free grafts. That's bang for your buck. One-day treatment, life-changing results, your own natural hair guaranteed to grow, advancedhair.com.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it,
That sounds like something to look into, and that's MetaShare. Maybe you've heard joining MetaShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MetaShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network, so yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE. How many just jumped up behind the wheel and said, heck yeah, Aretha? 58 years ago today, Aretha Franklin's cover of Otis Redding's Respect was released by Atlantic Records. I think I might need to hear Otis Redding's version of Respect. R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Anyway.
Really?
Yeah, I want to hear them both because I think that the cover might be better than the original. I don't want to make assumptions. But that was 58 years ago today. Aretha. Who doesn't love Aretha? All right, update a couple of stories that impact us locally. Grant Carroll's been reporting on this. Company shareholders like it. Its workers do not. ABC's Jim Ryan says UPS has announced sweeping layoffs before the end of the year.
As goes Amazon, so goes UPS. The package delivery company's biggest customer is the world's largest online retailer. And as consumers back down some of their spending at Amazon, UPS is paying the price. Or more accurately, 20,000 of its workers are. That's how many positions UPS plans to eliminate by Christmas.
I feel for the men and women in brown. I've got a personal relationship with my UPS drivers. They're coming to my house so often. Hopefully they will survive. 20,000 folks expected to be laid off from UPS. One more local story. Our hometown airline, Delta, apparently, Deborah, there's a new lounge at Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson Airport.
Yeah, this is huge, too. It's the latest Sky Club, and it can seat over 500 guests, have a 16-seat bar. There's a theater-style media wall. I'm not sure what that is, but it's also got these soundproof telephone booths, like if you just need to get away from everything. A food buffet, 2 beverage stations, and it looks beautiful, and it's located on Concourse D. Mark, you're the one who travels the most. Maybe you can check it out and report. And then they're also saying that the lounges on Concourses A and C, they're going to get refreshers, too, but not quite to that scale of the new one.
I have to check that out. Maya and I are going to, we have a couple of trips, 3 trips planned, DC, Vegas, and Japan. And we always fly Delta, so I'll check out. I'll report back. I do love we call it the Sky Lab, the Sky Lounge, the Delta Sky. I love that. It's like an oasis inside of craziness. All right, so a nice one, a new fresh one in the D concourse. Good stuff, Deborah. All right, Sabrina's got your news, weather, and traffic. Let her check the markets. It's been positive for the most part. But how will the market react to possible change from the Trump administration and their automotive tariffs? That's a big story. David Welch from Bloomberg News is going to join us live after news, weather, and traffic. Chris Cuomo joining us live at 11:35 from News Nation, talking about the first 100 days of the Trump presidency. Social media is forever active while we're on the air. At Mark Arum, MarkArum, and at WSB Radio.
WSB Atlanta, WSB BFM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hi, Tim Andrews here for D. Geller & Son. You know, finding the right piece of jewelry can feel like a big deal. You want to get it right, especially if it's for that special person in your life. When I needed a pair of diamond earrings for my wife, I went to D. Geller & Son. They took the time, they listened, they helped me find the incredible diamond studs that she absolutely loves. Find a diamond that you'll love at D. Geller & Son, Atlanta's most trusted family jeweler since 1939, with 2 locations in Atlanta and Kennesaw, or online at dgeller.com.
I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. When garage doors break, they usually don't break all at once. They don't just up and die. They die slowly. Garage doors complain a bit before they crap out, squeaking and sticking and shaking and grinding. They go down part way and then stop and go back up for no reason. But they hardly ever just end up dead with no symptoms and no long goodbye. If you ignored the signs, that dead door is on you. At Mo Better Garage, we make that way mo better. Our 19-point seasonal maintenance check makes sure everything's healthy. Oil the chain, check the rollers, realign the tracks, talk to you about how things are going, and look into any symptoms that might have you worried. Catch problems early, and your garage doors should be around to play with the grandkids. And talk about the old days, when all this was just farmland.
Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better.
MoBetterGarage.com.
Coming up from the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra, a Delta classical concert featuring Tchaikovsky's delightfully atmospheric First Symphony. Winter Daydreams, May 15th and 17th at Symphony Hall. Details at aso.org.
Protect your turf from termites. Call Breda Pest Management. They handle bugs and critters. And Breda is proud to sponsor Scott Slade's Georgia every Thursday on Atlanta's Morning News.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
News, weather,
Traffic. 95.5 WSB. Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hi there, good morning. It is 11 o'clock. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by the Next Generation Xfinity 10G network. Some big changes are on the way this year for Atlanta-based UPS, and job cuts are part of those changes.
The delivery giant is hinting at significant operational changes as a result of their previously announced decision to scale back their Amazon delivery volume by more than 50%. The company said this winter it was making the change because they want to focus on more profitable partners. UPS expects to reduce its operational workforce by approximately 20,000 positions during 2025 and close 73 leased and owned buildings by the end of June. UPS also joining the list of companies stepping back from their full-year financial guidance because they have not yet determined how new tariffs will impact their business. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
All right, so your weather for today, it's going to be partly cloudy and warm, also humid with a high around 82. You might run into an isolated pop-up shower this afternoon, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Cobb County voters will select 2 commissioners in redrawn districts in today's special general election.
Cobb County Election Director Tate Fall says they're already seeing higher turnout than in February's primary.
Which is great. We ended up with right around 6,360. That's for early voting and the absentee by mail ballots.
And she says no delays so far, so it should be a quick and simple process for voters.
You should be able to pop in and pop out. Both District 2 and 4, just one race, 2 names on each ballot.
The winners will join a board that currently includes 2 Democrats and 2 Republicans. Cheryl Castro, 95.5 WSB.
Polls are open through 7 o'clock tonight at more than 60 sites. A Douglas County jury finds a man guilty of multiple charges of involuntary manslaughter and reckless conduct. Prosecutors say 45-year-old Christopher Graff and his wife were both intoxicated and fighting while driving down I-20. Graff, who was in the passenger seat, flung himself from the moving vehicle while it was going 80 miles an hour. He ended up in the middle of the interstate. A semi-truck swerved to miss him, and that caused several other vehicles to crash, killing 2 people and injuring several others. Graff is sentenced to 20 years behind bars. An EMS driver from College Park is convicted of raping a woman. 47-year-old Bruce Andre Hines convicted of raping the woman who had fallen asleep in a car in March of 2023 on Glenwood Road in Decatur. The victim said she recalled being woken up by an EMS driver that was later identified as Hines. He told her that a call had come in to police reporting a person asleep in a car and that he had canceled that call so she wouldn't have to go to jail. He then moved her car and his emergency SUV to an abandoned parking lot where he attacked her. Hines has been sentenced to 25 years in prison. A new study looking at the dangers of ultra-processed foods finds junk food can be a killer.
They found premature deaths linked to the consumption of ultra-processed foods were lowest in Colombia, 4%. They were highest in the U.S. and the U.K. More than 13.5% of all premature deaths were linked to eating too many foods high in fat, salt, sugar, artificial sweeteners, and other additives.
And Vicki Barker reports health officials say ultra-processed foods like bread, cakes, and fast food are okay, but only on occasion. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow right now is currently up 262 at 40,489, so the Dow's up more than 0.5%. NASDAQ and S&P are also in positive territory. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. We say good morning to Alex Williams. He has a look at your roads.
Hey, good morning, Sabrina. Big jam up into Holly Springs out of Woodstock. Got a crash, 575 northbound. Travel advisory north of 6's Road, exit 11. Only a right shoulder squeaking by. You're already jamming up back towards Ridgewalk Parkway. Use Highway 5 as an alternate. Now a travel advisory into Cobb County. Crash, couple of right lanes, 285 northbound, the outer loop before Glenwood Road, exit 44. You slow back before I-20, and a crash before that in the left lane into Cobb. 285 eastbound, the outer loop before Flat Shoals, exit 48. That's slowing the ride back toward Boulder Crest Road, exit 51. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly cloudy today with an isolated pop-up shower possible, high 82, lows tonight in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with a few pop-up showers, high 83. Partly cloudy on Thursday, high 84.
We have 68 degrees in Sandy Springs, 69 in Marietta. Holly Springs, you have 68 degrees right now. We'll have more news at 11:30, breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
I want this town to be near you.
11:04 in this very busy Newsday Tuesday. Welcome back, friends. Mark Aram and crew with you till noon. Coming up in 30 minutes, Chris Cuomo from News Nation is going to join us live, breaking down the first 100 days of the second Trump presidency. Don't forget, right after the new news, I'm going to give you another keyword in the 5K day bonus splits. Another chance for you to win $1,000 right here on 95.5 WSB. But I teased this earlier in the show. Possibly some tariff news when it becomes to the automotive industry. Joining us live from Bloomberg News, our buddy David Welch. David, good morning. As always, thanks for your time.
Good morning. Always happy to be here.
All right, so clarify this. I mean, tariffs have confused me. I'm getting a headache just thinking about it. But maybe some reprieve for automotive tariffs coming from President Trump. What do we know this morning?
Yeah, that's right. So, look, right now we've got tariffs on vehicles from Mexico. Parts tariffs are supposed to kick in May 3rd, and we've got, not just Mexico and Canada, and a lot of other countries as well. And the reason I separate those out is they are two different sets of tariffs, but it's all 25%. And what the Trump administration said last night that they may do is they may reduce some of the parts tariffs, and they might also, it gets complicated here, but they will find a way to reimburse automakers on some of the parts tariffs if they already paid a tariff on the same steel that went into them. They call that stacking of tariffs. So that they're going to try to de-stack them. It gets very complicated. You have a whole bunch of people in the Commerce Department trying to figure out what part of an auto part to put a tariff on, what part of the steel, and so forth, because that's been one of the complicated things here is you have a vehicle, but within that vehicle you got tens of thousands of parts and parts within those parts. So they may do that. We'll get more detail today. Maybe when Trump visits Michigan, he's getting into Michigan this afternoon to have a rally in Macomb County, that's the birthplace of the Reagan Democrats, Purple County that went for Trump in the last election, and a lot of manufacturing plants and working class people who live over there. So and we may get a reprieve for the auto industry on those tariffs. But even the companies don't know what to tell you about it right now because they know the devil's in the detail and they don't have any details.
So just to simplify it for myself, David, let's just say car hoods, right? Let's say the car hood, the GM will pay a steel tariff for the steel that will make the hood of the car, the metal hood of the car, and then they'll be tariffed for a car part, and this is going to try to, instead of stacking the tariffs, that GM will only have to pay one tariff on that car hood.
That's right. So if they paid a tariff on steel, all these examples are kind of tough to figure out because it's very complex.
Yeah.
But if they had already, they wouldn't pay a tariff on the steel in that hood if they were already paying a tariff on the hood itself. Say the hood was was stamped and assembled in Mexico or Canada and shipped across the border. They wouldn't pay the metals tariff because part of this metals tariffs, it wasn't just raw steel and aluminum. It was some parts that were made out of steel and aluminum, and not like tiny machine parts, but bigger pieces, and that's where it gets super complicated as well. What do they consider a steel part that gets a tariff versus a regular part? But yeah, it's kind of like that.
Yeah.
David Welch, that would give them some relief.
David Welch covers all things auto for Bloomberg News, joining us live on the Mark Aram Show. This re-examination of tariffs for the Trump administration, was this pressure from the big three? Was it pressure from the unions? Why are we revisiting the automotive tariffs here?
It's sort of all the above, although the unions actually support the tariffs, but they wanted to kind of they're looking for kind of a boutique tariff plan that helps bring some jobs back, usually from Mexico, as that's the UAW's main target. But a lot of the pressure came from the industry itself, and then I think the administration's looking at its whole tariff scheme kind of on a broad basis because consumer confidence, Trump's own ratings, and the stock market have really been hit by all of these things. So I think the Trump administration is trying to pull back. The other thing I think specifically with auto tariffs is they are so complicated, given that you have multiple tiers of suppliers. You've got, think about an automotive seat. You have somebody who provides leather or vinyl or fabric. That fabric gets shipped into Mexico to one company, which does cutting and stitching, and sends it to another company that, puts the seat together with the foam inside the seat and the metal pieces that make the seat frame. I mean, it's just a seat is pretty complex, and I think they found that it was kind of tough to really figure all of that out, and that also some of that work's done in the U.S. or it's done with trading partners who we still want to stay in good stead with. So I think some of the complexity of it also kind of got them to back off a bit.
David, I got to ask you, we heard from Amazon, they allegedly are going to start on receipts now when you buy from Amazon, how much tariffs impacted the bottom line, the sticker price, if you will. Do you think we'll see something similar when you go to a car dealership and be like, all right, this car would have been $37,000, but now it's $43,000. There's $6,000 worth of tariffs in that. Do you think they're going to follow suit?
That's an interesting question. I'd love to see that happen so we kind of know what's going into the price, because car buyers always want more transparency into what they're paying. It's just hard to do for all the reasons I was just talking about. I mean, the companies themselves, I think it would take a while just to figure out how
they don't even know. Yeah.
How much you paid on this of a tariff you paid on, say, an alternator that had some parts in the U.S. but maybe the wiring came from Mexico, but the machine parts inside the alternator motor came from a plant in Canada or the U.S. I mean, it'd be pretty. I mean, somebody would be able to do it.
That's a lot of work, though. As I'm thinking about that, is a lot of work. As long as I know they're charging me $700 for the waterproofing of the undercarriage. That kind of transparency. Final question while I have you, David. GM posted first quarter profit, strong profit, but they're not sure how the rest of the year is going to go. What's your read on that?
Yeah, I think they looked last night when they were preparing their earnings, which they announced this morning, and they saw news reports, including from us, saying that Trump was going to revisit tariffs and maybe pull back on them. And I think they didn't really know how to read the impact on their sales, their profits, and their cash flow for the year. And they just said, hey, we're going to have to pull back on this until we get the details of the tariff plan, and then we can kind of run some business and economic models and figure out what's going to happen, and then come back, and maybe on Thursday they'll give some guidance.
All right, David Welch, Bloomberg, if you don't mind, can I book you in advance, May 3rd, that tariff start date? We can get you back on, and you can come back and recap everything for us.
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks so much. David Welch, Bloomberg News. Obviously, big story here in Georgia with so many automotive plants and so many folks in the industry. Again, that May 3rd, 25% tariff. Maybe we'll see relief from the Trump administration. Good stuff from David, as always. All right. Joining us live in studio from Channel 2 Action News, it's Michael Doudna. Michael, good to see you in person, man. First time in the studio?
Yeah, first time in the studio.
You got to get really close to the,
I'll get really close here.
Right
Make sure people can actually hear me.
Right to the mic. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. Big stuff tonight on Channel 2 Action News at 5:45 and 6:45. Big local story. What? Give us a preview of what we're going to see tonight.
Yeah, we're really looking into response times and really focusing in on DeKalb County. Now, this isn't new news of hey, they have longer response times, but we went through a report that looked at 5 years of data that found especially with their contractor, response times were 4 times, almost 5 times longer than the industry recommended standard. So we're looking into the reasons also behind that, the reasons why, and we even did a ride-along with one of the ambulance contractors.
Oh, so response times from services like EMS,
yes,
police,
from
fire.
EMS.
Okay.
Mainly ambulances, especially those people trying to get to the hospital and things like that.
So without spoiling what's going on, I live in DeKalb County now.
Mm-hmm.
DeKalb County response times lagging behind the norms?
Yes, much so. I mean, we're seeing this issue throughout the metro, but in DeKalb County, what the report found, and this isn't doing away with anything necessarily, is the industry standard, you want to have that response time somewhere between 5 and 8 minutes.
Okay.
For their contractor, it was 23.
So you call 911, hey, whatever the emergency is, my kid fell, broke his leg, I need an ambulance. The average response time is between 5 and...
Well, they want to see 5 to 8 minutes in the 90th percentile,
gotcha.
Right? That's the standard they use here. But for AMR, their contractor, it was over 23 minutes.
Okay. And that's, if your kid's crying with a broken leg, that 23 minutes can seem like 23 hours, right? You want help is there. Is that commonplace for counties to contract these services out?
It is. You're going to start seeing that more and more now because of just the cost it takes to have ambulance services throughout the metro area. And when you end up, in the past, those never had to be subsidized.
Yeah.
You used to be able to just get your money back through insurance and things like that. But that's changed really since the pandemic, and we also go into that as well.
I would imagine, and this might be something you cover, again, 5:45, 6:45 on Channel 2 Action News this evening on Channel 2, is the fact that there's a labor shortage, right? That it's tough for these EMTs, for these ambulance companies to get enough folks that are qualified to do this job. That's got to be a part of why we're seeing a lapse in times.
Yeah, it's part of, when it comes to resources, it's a major issue here of having those people able to respond to calls when these calls come in. Now, they are trying to do some things at the contractor of basically doing training on the job so you have more people, and they're hoping that will end up helping some of those resource issues that they're talking about. But a lot of it comes, living in DeKalb County, it's a big area.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people, and they get a lot of calls, and that just adds up and basically means that they don't have people available sometimes when those really big emergencies come.
And I've seen, too, anecdotally, sticker shock folks get when they do call 911 and they do have an ambulance come, and then they get the bill, and they're like, how much did that ambulance run? And I've heard, not firsthand, but I've heard folks that are now saying, all right, I've got to go to the ER. I'm just going to call Uber and have Uber take me to the emergency room because the ambulance services it's cost prohibitive to dial 911 and get an ambulance to come.
I mean, that's part of the issue, right? Like you're having a lot of the people with insurance sometimes paying for the people without it. The average return they ended up getting here from their normal, transports is about $300. For them, their cost was something around $2,000.
Wow.
So that's part of the issues. They also need to figure out what further investment is needed. So if we want to reduce response times, there's going to need millions of dollars of additional investment that will be needed here. The question is, where's that line?
Yeah, interesting stuff. Michael Dowdna from Channel 2 Action News. Special report today, 5:45 and a 6:45. Two-parter?
Two-parter.
This is a two-parter. Can we see this expand? I'm assuming DeKalb's probably not the only metro area that is dealing with elongated wait times on EMS.
Yeah, we focused in on DeKalb County today just because it was everyone has similar issues. Just DeKalb's only more so in many cases, especially with an issue like this.
Just from my background in traffic, I'm wondering how bad DeKalb traffic causes those wait times for the.
Oh, I mean, on one of the ride-alongs, we went to a crash in Spaghetti Junction. It took them 23 minutes to find it. But part of it's you're going all the way around and trying to find the right accident.
And unhelpful drivers not moving over for the flashing lights. All right, good stuff. Michael Dowdna, Channel 2. I'll be watching tonight, my friend. Speaking of traffic, I'm going to take a shot in the dark, Alex Williams, and say there are definitely some traffic delays in DeKalb County at this moment.
You nailed it. 2 separate crashes on the DeKalb County perimeter. First one's 285 northbound, the outer loop before Glenwood Road, exit 44. That crash is in 1 to 2 right lanes, slowing the ride back before I-20. Before you get there's another crash. DeKalb police are trying to get off to the right, 285 eastbound, the outer loop before Flat Shoals, exit 48, jammed up from 675. Think about heading up through downtown as an alternate to avoid some of those. And they're working on clearing this crash in Holly Springs. It's been leaving only the right shoulder open. 575 northbound past 6's Road, exit 11. As delays start to improve, there's no need for an alternate, but for right now, Highway 5 will get you around that. Traffic brought to you by Georgia Commute Options. With Georgia Commute Options, you can get more out of every mile, earn prizes, gift cards, and other cool deals when you switch from driving alone to a cleaner trip. More at mygco.com. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
On air,
Online,
on the app,
where you get your news,
is where you'll win.
Download the WSB radio app now and maybe win $1,000.
That is awesome.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
5 words, 5 times a day, every weekday.
This is Jill from Roswell, and I just won $1,000.
Just enter the word at WSBradio.com or on the WSB radio app.
Your next chance to win is coming up at 12.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz
on 95.5 WSB.
In these uncertain economic times, you want the most bang for your buck. Am I right? You want to make sure the money you're spending gets results. It's Mark Aram back from my friends at Advanced Hair. That's what you get at Advanced Hair. You get bang for your buck, and you get a guarantee that Advanced Hair is going to regrow your hair. This is not a pill or a lotion subscription that helps retain what you have. Instead, Advanced Hair offers the proven guaranteed solution that regrows your hair where it's currently gone. Quick, simple, one-day treatment, and your real hair begins to regrow the very next day, and it's guaranteed for life. Takes just one visit, but first you need a free consultation, guys. Schedule now, 470-660-HAIR or advancedhair.com. And if you move forward, you get $250 off plus 250 free grafts. That's bang for your buck. One-day treatment, life-changing results, your own natural hair guaranteed to grow, advancedhair.com.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, with all the things we're reading, seeing, and living through these days, from rate cuts, election season, and now a new administration, now seems like a great time to make sure we have that comprehensive plan in place. You know, the one that covers all our financial bases.
There are occasions throughout the year where I feel like it's critical for people to engage their financial lives and get the information that they deserve from a financial advisory team. And this is one of those times, to be quite frank. So we ask that you call us if you have a minimum of $500,000 in your full portfolio. But we're going to do away with that minimum so that those folks can have an equal opportunity to understand what's in their portfolio as well. Now, you have to have some money, right? I can't help you to build your wealth at work, right? But I sure can help, I believe, with your 401k, IRA management. There's probably 2 or 3 things that'll surprise you that you may want to take action on. So the next 10 people that call in will work up either a portfolio x-ray, or if you feel like you need a full retirement plan, go to unleashyourmoney.com, click on portfolio x-ray, or click on full retirement plan. We think you'll be impressed enough, and we want you to become a client. There's no question about it. We believe that we are a very competent fiduciary advisory team, and we want to offer that to our listeners. Let Hoffman Financial Group actually show you how we perform, and I believe we perform at the pinnacle of this industry.
Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
This is Scott Slade. Let's talk about how to improve your chances of living a longer, healthier life. For me, it's preventive medicine. My doctor saw one funky number in my lab work that eventually led to a diagnosis early enough so I still had options. You just got to have a medical professional looking at you every so often, especially when we're talking about heart disease, the nation's #1 killer. And that's where virtual imaging comes in. They've got the best CT imaging in the Southeast with 98% accuracy and low radiation, like flying in an airplane. They can detect calcium levels in your arteries and most cancers at the earliest stage. And virtual imaging can scan your brain to see if you're in danger of a tumor, stroke, or even dementia. So don't put this off, especially with this offer for virtual imaging. For a limited time, they're offering you and your spouse a free heart scan. Yes, free with a few minimum requirements. I've done it. Call 404-678-SCAN. That's 404-678-SCAN. Or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com.
At Shane Company, we love a spring engagement, but you might be wondering, how do I find the perfect engagement ring? As a trusted family jeweler since 1929, we get asked this a lot. We have a wide selection of ring settings, like vintage designs with romantic details, floral settings inspired by nature, and classic styles with clean lines and sleek metals. Dreaming of the most beautiful diamond you've ever seen? At Shane Company, we handpick only the sparkliest center stones in all shapes and sizes, from oval to round to marquise, and more. We have gorgeous natural and lab-grown diamonds at competitive prices, in-store, ready to compare side by side. Drawn to certain colors? We're known for our rainbow of vivid natural sapphires, including shades of blue, straight out of a fairy tale, handpicked by our owner, Tom Shane. At Shane Company, we have the best free lifetime warranty that includes the center stone, plus resizing, repairs, and cleanings for life. Visit us at shaneco.com or in store. No appointment necessary. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
All of me
I, William Arthur Philip Louis.
Take thee, Catherine Elizabeth.
Take thee, Catherine Elizabeth.
To my wedded wife.
To my wedded wife.
14 years ago, a royal wedding. Prince William married Kate Middleton in an opulent ceremony at London's Westminster Abbey. The only thing I remember about that wedding, Deborah, Pippa Middleton.
That's what all guys remember. All the guys remember Pippa.
Absolutely stole the show. I remember feeling bad for Kate, like, oh, man, you can't let your hot younger sister steal the show on your wedding day. I'm going to find Pippa on Instagram maybe during the break. Anyway, Deborah, stark warning from our friends in the agricultural industry feeding these fruited plains. What's the warning from our farmers?
Yeah, so they say they're already feeling the effects of tariffs, even though it really hasn't kicked in yet, because people are canceling orders ahead of time, and they're saying that's leading to big financial losses. Now, one exporter says there's about 9,000 metric tons of goods already on the water, but they're thinking China is going to refuse a lot of that cargo and then just abandon it at the port. Oh. And this is everything from like almonds to beef and dairy and clothing, recycled stuff. And the thing is there's no other place to send it. It's not like, oh, well, Canada will just order more or Argentina wants some. There's no place to send it to, so that's what's affecting prices.
I never thought of that. So let's just say we're, a farmer shipping a huge ship full of soybeans or soybean products to China. It gets to the Chinese port, and the folks there are like, nope, we don't want it. Turn around. I guess it's cash on delivery kind of thing. And then what do you do with those? I mean, it's a perishable good too. Oof. I never even thought about that. All right, we need to get something done with China. That's horrible. It's impacting all of us to a various degrees. Some of us are in better shape to handle whatever tariffs might come. But for folks that, are in the farming industry, like this is life or death for them. Right.
Yeah, for sure.
If these 145% tariffs are in effect and 125% sending goods to, if you're sending your soybeans or your cotton or your produce, whatever you're sending to China, and they aren't going to take it, what do you do with that stuff? That's frightening. All right, a warning from the agriculture industry. Thank you, Deborah. All right, news, weather, and traffic coming up in just a couple of minutes. When we come back, yes, it is 100 days. Today marks the 100th day of the second Trump term presidency. What has happened so far in the first 100 days? Chris Cuomo from News Nation is going to join us live and break it down for us next. Deborah's got some tickets to give away to see Hans Zimmer at the Gas South Arena on September 11th. And don't forget, right after the new news, yours truly will give you another keyword in the 5K a day bonus blitz. Chance to win $1,000 here on the Nifty 750. Celebrating the 92nd birthday of Willie Nelson. We'll be right back. It's the Mark Arum Show on WSB.
I'd have to be weird to grow me a beard just to see what the rednecks would do. But I'd have to be crazy, plumb out of my mind to fall.
Critters creeping? Better call Breda Pest Management. They handle bugs and critters. And Breda is proud to sponsor Scott Slade, Georgia, every Thursday on Atlanta's Morning News.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
Listen up, because women have long waited for the world to recognize the importance of our health.
Northside Hospital goes beyond "we hear you" to "we're out here with you," because women deserve more than open ears.
They deserve open doors, and 1 ounce of action is worth 1,000 words.
Northside is rolling up our sleeves and getting to work for you.
This is a house call. Heard. Learn more at northside.com/heard.
Atlanta DIY landlords, listen up. If you're exhausted from managing your rental properties all by yourself, my friends at Renters Warehouse Atlanta offering a 90-day test drive. Hire Renters Warehouse to manage your rental property for a low flat monthly fee as low as $115. If you're not satisfied at any time in the first 3 months, you can fire them. Get your management fees back. What do you get for that low flat monthly fee? A dedicated property management team, maintenance coordination, move in and move out property condition reports, advanced tenant screening with a 9-month tenant warranty, professional photography and videography, lease renewal processing and negotiations, online rent collection, monthly owner cash flow statements, and more. Renters Warehouse, so confident you'll love their service, they want an addition for your business. Choice is yours. Keep DIYing or see how Renters Warehouse can make your life easier. Start your 90-day test drive today. Go to rwatlanta.com or call 404-662-2322, 404-662-2322.
Just like your car, your septic system needs regular maintenance. Hi, I'm Shannon, the owner of Scorpion Septic. If you're seeing bubbles in your toilet, pooling in your yard, slow draining, or your toilet won't flush, you need Scorpion Septic.
Take the sting out of septic service with Scorpion Septic, where there is never a pump out charge with your repair. Call for more information. ScorpionSepticServices.com.
ScorpionSepticServices.com. Hey folks, it's Belinda. What you have planned this weekend? How about visiting the Lakewood 400 Antiques Market in Cumming, Friday through Sunday this weekend? Grab your spouse or your friends and go on a treasure hunt with over 500 booths. Everything you can imagine, from jewelry, collectibles, sports memorabilia, antiques, furniture, handcrafts, and toys. Every aisle and row is a different adventure. Come on out this weekend to the Lakewood 400 Antiques Market, 1321 Atlanta Highway in Cumming. Visit LakewoodAntiques.com.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 11:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by Rocco's European Garage. This just in.
Certainly glad to see you here today. And on behalf of all the women and men of the Atlanta Police Department, welcome to your Public Safety Training Center.
Atlanta's Public Safety Training Center fully opening today. Just now happening as officials cut the ribbon on the 85-acre complex in unincorporated DeKalb County. All right, your weather for today. Partly cloudy, warm and humid, headed for an afternoon high of 82. Yes, you might see an isolated pop-up shower this afternoon. So according to WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards, she'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up. Now, Dunwoody police searching this hour for two women accused of stealing nearly $500,000 from a business there. Police did not disclose the name of the business, but said that they were contacted after it was uncovered something was off with their financial accounts.
And initially, the company and us thought this might have just been, some sloppy bookkeeping, but the more they dug into it, the more they realized, no, this individual was actually moving money around away from the business into their own pocket.
That's Sergeant Michael Cheek. Arrest warrants have now been issued for 48-year-old Felicia Kelly, who worked at that business, and 45-year-old Nicole Allen. Anybody with information being asked to call Crime Stoppers. The Cobb County School District removes American Psycho from the shelves of its libraries. The superintendent there saying that the move is part of trying to provide age-appropriate reading material for children. The district has banned dozens of books over the past year and a half. One metro school district could reinstate its diversity, equity, and inclusion policies.
The City of Decatur School Board meets this afternoon in a special called meeting to discuss putting its DEI policies back in place. Those policies were adjusted earlier this month to remove references to equity, following several executive orders from the White House. The district said it needed to make those changes to continue receiving federal funds. The district says today's meeting comes after preliminary injunctions against those executive orders from 3 federal judges. Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta-based UPS is cutting some 20,000 jobs, and Jim Ryan reports it's all part of the company's reconfiguration.
Along with the sweeping job cuts coming before the end of the year, UPS plans to close down 73 of its leased and owned buildings by the end of June. CEO Carol Tomei has told investors that the moves will save UPS $3.5 billion. Share prices jumped on that news.
And today is National Fentanyl Awareness Day. It was first observed 4 years ago by parents who lost their loved ones to drug overdoses. The goal is to remind people of the many deaths each year caused by fentanyl and to spread the word about naloxone, a medication that can reverse the overdose. Progress has been made in bringing down the numbers of overdose deaths in recent years, but fentanyl is still the number one killer. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow right now is up 206 at 40,433. So the Dow's up more than 0.5%. NASDAQ is down slightly, and the S&P is in positive territory, but only slightly. Time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather, brought to you by Fenley Roofing. Alex Williams in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Making some progress with these earlier crashes we've been dealing with, Sabrina. The one in DeKalb, 285 northbound, the outer loop between I-20 and Glenwood Road, now just blocking one right lane, but you're still seeing delays as you leave Flat Shoals. We had one before that in the backup, 285 east between Boulder Crest and Flat Shoals. That's been moved off to the right. And the crash all gone in Holly Springs, 575 northbound north of Sixes Road. Delays have improved there as you leave the Woodstock region. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly cloudy today with an isolated shower possible, high 82. Lows tonight in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy. A few pop-up storms can't be ruled out, high 83. Partly cloudy on Thursday, high 84.
It is 70 degrees in Monroe. Riverdale has 70 degrees and 68 right now in Canton. We'll have more news at noon, breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
When traffic hits.
I-75 completely shut down north and south between McDonough and Locust Grove.
The Triple Team Traffic Center has you covered.
Brake lights fill in on 316 westbound at Sugarloaf Parkway.
Your source for Atlanta's traffic.
Heavy police fire department activity.
Brought to you by the Cool Ray Lifetime Parts and Labor Warranty.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Coming up next, 100 days of the second Trump presidency. We'll break it all down, and Deborah's got tickets to give away to see Hans Zimmer. That's next on the Mark Arum Show.
April showers bring May flowers, but they may also lead to water inside your home. Dave Baker here for Findlay Roofing, the roof guys. Extra rain could mean extra trouble for your roof. If spring has sprung inside your home, there will be signs. Look for wet spots, water streaks, or dripping water on the ceiling, drywall, chimney area, or in the attic. If that wet spot is now a dry stain, it's still a problem. So when it comes to your roof, think of Findlay first, the perfect match for any roofing issue. They've replaced over 65,000 roofs locally with high-quality roofing experience and expertise. Only Findlay offers a lifetime leak-free warranty at no additional cost. And with Findlay, manners matter. They'll treat your home like it's their own with 5-star exceptional service. Plus, Findlay offers upfront pricing, 0% financing, and a free roof analysis. Get started today at FindlayRoofing.com.
Roof. Attention men, are you suffering from ED or PE? Here's an important message from Choice Men's Health.
I'm Dr. Katz, and I'm the Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Are you performing the way you want to in the bedroom? If the answer is no, and you've tried Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra and were disappointed, then you need to come see us immediately. If you don't see results on the first visit, then there's no charge. Many of our patients have medical conditions such as diabetes, hypertension, obesity, and prostate problems. I'm happy to say that we have 98% success rate with all our patients. Our customized solutions will allow you to perform within 10 minutes and last an hour and even longer. You can regain your love life and tackle your ED and PE problems. Guys, your partner will never complain again. Our clinic has the most affordable prices, so if you visit other clinics and you're not completely satisfied, then you need to call Choice Men's Health.
Regain your love life regardless of your age or medical history. Choice Men's Health guarantees results on your first visit or you pay nothing. Call now, 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170.
News is temporary, but your financial plan shouldn't be. I'm Wes Moss, and at Capital Investment Advisors, we're focused on helping retirees invest for income. This means building and managing a portfolio that delivers a steady stream of income, regardless of the scary headlines of the day. If you're ready to shift your focus from the headlines to your core pursuits in retirement, reach out to our team at yourwealth.com. That's YOUR wealth.com.
Sell your home and get paid twice? Orchard makes it happen. Get cash up front to buy now, then more when your old place sells for top dollar. Go to orchard.com or call 1-844-421-SELL.
He packed in the animals 2x2, ox, camel, and a kangaroo.
11:37 on this very busy News Day Tuesday. Welcome back, friends. Mark Arum and crew with you till noon, celebrating or reflecting, I should say, on the first 100 days of the second Trump presidency. Joining us live to break it all down, Chris Cuomo from News Nation. Chris, good morning, brother. How are you?
How are you? How are you?
Excellent. I'm very excited. On Wednesday, I'm told, we're going to be carrying a President Trump town hall hosted by you, Bill O'Reilly, and Stephen A. Smith, Wednesday, 8 p.m. That's pretty cool. How'd that come about?
I made it happen, my man. The only way anything happens in life.
Were there any, did you reach out to the administration, to the chief of staff, to Caroline Leavitt? I mean, I would just imagine the logistics of getting that scheduled would have been a headache.
Yeah, O'Reilly has a relationship with the president. So, you know, look, the president isn't shy about going on the media. I mean, I don't know if we should count that as a virtue. You know, his supporters always say, well, the president takes questions. Yeah, but they make it sound like that's some kind of study in candor. He likes to be available. He likes to use the media. And Bill O'Reilly reached out to him, and he wanted the opportunity, so he's going to be part of the town hall. Happy to have him.
My fellow Marist College graduate, Bill O'Reilly, pulling the strings there to get him on.
Yes, he is. He's got his football jersey up in his house.
Chris, 100 days in, your initial takeaway, the first 100 days of the second Trump presidency.
the road to hell is paved with good intentions. St. Bernard is credited with saying that. And I think that's where we are economically right now for the president. I understand, and in fact, even support the ambition of rethinking economic policy from the perspective of the majority, as opposed to being so top-heavy. I think that is a good ambition for the president. I actually think it's surprisingly nonpartisan. How you get there is everything. And that's the problem this administration is having. The tariffs weren't just too little, they were also too much. And we're seeing things now that Trump, unfortunately, can't reverse by undoing what he did, because the supply glut and front-loading of inventories is going to have a cost now. And we're going to have to go through it. So that would be my headline, is that the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And the president has to find a new path. And that's hard to do in politics, because you get destroyed for admitting any mistakes and for rethinking. And that's too bad, but he still has to do it.
Yeah, I think, the administration figured short-term pain for long-term gain, but they didn't realize how painful that short-term, and it's not short-term, that would kind of, unravel what they had planned as far as economically and tariffly. They didn't understand the immediacy that these tariffs might have on the American economy.
Yeah, and by they, I mean, really, look, you got to look at the president on this. Immigration is his greatest area of success, but where is it sluggish? It's sluggish where it's, you see it in the polls that he gets a lot of support for what he did in immigration. I think rightly so. I think the Democrats handed him the election with arguable malfeasance when it comes to what they did and didn't do with immigration. But now, roundups, reducing a huge number of people in the country, figuring out rule changes, figuring out home country agreements, these require planning. And that's not Trump's strong suit. So he has to surround himself with people who can do it. He did not do that this time. And I think that where he's struggling in this administration is a function of his own personal limitations. And you'll get a mixed take from most people on the administration. I think the economy is always resonant. It helped him, right? It helped him big time in the election, how he was able to paint an economic picture of distress. Now he's owning that same picture. But what I like about this town hall is that you're going to get a complement of full perspective on it. You're going to get MAGA supporters, of course. You're going to get the president himself. But you're going, News Nation, my show is designed for independence. I am anti-parties, brother. I'm probably the only person on cable with my kind of platform who says that openly. I think the political parties are the problem. I want them both gone. I'm anti-Democrat. I'm anti-Republican. I'm pro-independent, pro-critical thinking, free agents. And I think the more we go that way, the better.
Chris Cuomo, News Nation, joining us live on the Mark Arum Show. That town hall, Wednesday, 8 p.m. You're going to hear it live on WSB Radio. And, of course, you can watch it live on News Nation as well. Let me ask you one final question politically, Chris. President Trump now selling Trump 2028 hats. Is that a gimmick, or is this something that you think he's seriously considering?
It's a gimmick, but I got to tell you, it's got people spooked. Now, you talk to Steve Bannon, he'll laugh, and he'll say, yeah, it's why I'm doing it. And there's nothing wrong with me wanting to have the president for another term. There's nothing wrong with that. And the fact that it drives people on the left crazy is a bonus. But I think it is a good opportunity for people to check themselves and to see that you don't have to take everything they say in what you consider your opposition, which is part of the problem, is that we see each other as enemies, which is just crazy. But you have to be mindful that they're probably saying it to mess with you. And that is certainly the case with 2028. Not just the 22nd Amendment that's the problem. It's the 12th Amendment. They're trying to do this little end run. Oh, yeah, Vance is going to win, and Trump's going to be the vice president, and then he'll just step in. 12th Amendment wouldn't allow that. Now, you want to have constitutional amendment, fine. You want to play with it and say there's an emergency and you can't vacate the office, not fine. And I don't think we're going to have that kind of test of the system, and I hope we don't. But, again, you can't just let everything that's said become a boogeyman.
I know you got to run. Final question. When are we going fishing together?
Man, I'd love to have you. Anytime you're up here, I had a big morning this morning. There are these guys out of Cleveland, Ohio. I'm standing on the street in New York City, so I'm sorry about the
That's all right.
noise. These guys, Church Brothers out of Ohio, they specialize in creating performance kits for Chevy Novas. I have a 67 Nova Resto Mod. So I just dropped off my car to do this project on this front flip. I then went to the boat, dropped off the curtains. I had to figure out some stuff with one of my tilt motors on one of the engines. And once I get that done, the boat's going to be in the water, and I just need another 5 or 6 degrees of temperature. And we'll start getting bites. Anytime you want to come up into Long Island, I'd love to have you.
There he is, the king of Long Island Sound, Chris Cuomo. We'll hear you Wednesday at 8 p.m. on WSB Radio. Chris, thanks for your time, buddy.
Hey, brother, be well. Thank you for the opportunity and giving News Nation a chance. I appreciate it.
Oh, our absolute pleasure. That's going to be entertaining. Cuomo, Riley, Stephen A. Smith, President Trump. Put it in a blender. Should be an interesting town hall. Very interesting. Oh, I forgot to give away tickets. Deborah, what do we have to give away right now, my friend?
A pair of tickets to go see Hans Zimmer at Gas South Arena on September 11th.
All right, let's see. Vinny's kind of melancholy today. I'm going to take it easy on Vincenz. Eighth caller. How's that? Eighth caller to 404. I think it's the lack of bread. Like he gave up, him and his mom gave up bread. Like he's missing the carbs or whatever. Eighth caller to 404-872-0750. Eighth caller to 404-872-0750 wins a pair of tickets to see Hans Zimmer, Gas South Arena, September 11th on right here, courtesy of the Mark Arum Show on WSB. While I have you, Deborah, this was a dastardly story. I don't even know how to premise it. A guy lied to his wife. She died. Now he's getting charged, right? That's the nutshell of it?
Yeah, that's the Cliff Note version, if you will. So a man from Georgia, Cleveland Brody of Rockdale County, is charged for murder because he knowingly infected his wife with HIV. Now, that's terrible enough, but she actually was battling and defeated cancer only to be diagnosed with HIV a couple years later. And this only came about because someone that knew her husband came forward and said, hey, I know his status. So the family actually had to hire a PI to look into it. And so now he's being charged with murder.
So this guy at Rockdale County, is he one of the lost kids of Rockdale County? Remember that documentary? So he contracted HIV, did not tell his wife, or had it before they met, whatever, didn't tell her. He then infected her, and she died because of the result. And he's now facing what kind of charges?
It says malice, murder, and felony murder.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I can't argue with the charges, right? If he knowingly didn't tell his wife, there's some things you're going to keep secret from your wife. When you're dating, right, you're not going to tell her everything. That's something you need to tell your wife. All right, crazy story. Thank you, Deborah. All right, when we come back, we're going to update our top local stories. Don't forget, coming up after the new news, I'm going to give you a keyword in the 5K day bonus blitz. Another chance for you to win $1,000 here on 95.5 WSB. Let's check the Tuesday morning drive around town. Live to Atlanta's only 24-hour traffic center, the one and only Alex Williams.
Still watching the brake lights in DeKalb County, Mark. That crash in and out of a right lane, 285 northbound, the outer loop before Glenwood Road, exit 44. You're seeing the brake lights back toward Flat Shoals, exit 48. Checking on possible new trouble in the work zone in DeKalb, 20 westbound before Wesley Chapel Road, exit number 68. If you're traveling downtown, 75-85 northbound, still watching some volume left over from the morning drive from University Avenue, breaking free up around Freedom Parkway. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
Get the WSB Radio app.
This story is breaking right now.
Get notifications from your source for news.
If you have the WSB Radio app, then you saw the breaking news.
Get the WSB Radio app.
Don't miss a thing with the WSB app.
Download it from the App Store today.
Can you remember the last time you turned on the shower and all you got was cold water? Hopefully you don't have a fresh memory of that. Hey, it's Mark Arum. I want you to check out my friends at Reliable Heating and Air. Great new deal on a new water heater. Check it out, guys. Only $29.99 a month and no payments for 3 whole months. No credit check and an unbeatable lifetime warranty. Or you want to go tankless? It's only $59.99 a month and you can enjoy endless hot water. Think about those long, hot showers in the cold, cold winter. Their new water heater installations come with their 100% satisfaction guarantee. Same-day water heater installation guaranteed, or they pay you $300. And with their Comfort as a Service program, you get lifetime repair and maintenance, no additional charges ever, no money down, and just easy monthly payments. So new water heater, $29.99 a month, or tankless, $59.99 a month. Amazing deal. Amazing hot water, amazing service. Go online to reliableair.com.
Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How retailers become seamlessly restocking, cyber-securing, must-visit shops. And how healthcare offices become the data managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business. Powering possibilities.
Now through May 4th, new customers can get started with 300 megabit internet and Security Edge for $69 a month for 24 months. And ask how to get free installation on qualifying bundles. Plus, find out how to get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Call today. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Requires enrollment in paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account. Equipment, taxes, and other fees extra. After 24 months, regular rates apply.
I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. When garage doors break, they usually don't break all at once. They don't just up and die. They die slowly. Garage doors complain a bit before they crap out, squeaking and sticking and shaking and grinding. They go down part way and then stop and go back up for no reason. But they hardly ever just end up dead with no symptoms and no long goodbye. If you ignored the signs, that dead door is on you. At Mo Better Garage, we make that way mo better. Our 19-point seasonal maintenance check makes sure everything's healthy. Oil the chain, check the rollers, realign the tracks, talk to you about how things are going, and look into any symptoms that might have you worried. Catch problems early, and your garage door should be around to play with the grandkids and talk about the old days when all this was just farmland.
Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better.
MoBetterGarage.com.
This is Scott Slade. Let's talk about how to improve your chances of living a longer, healthier life. For me, it's preventive medicine. My doctor saw one funky number in my lab work that eventually led to a diagnosis early enough so I still had options. You just got to have a medical professional looking at you every so often, especially when we're talking about heart disease, the nation's #1 killer. And that's where virtual imaging comes in. They've got the best CT imaging in the Southeast with 98% accuracy and low radiation, like flying in an airplane. They can detect calcium levels in your arteries and most cancers at the earliest stage. And virtual imaging can scan your brain to see if you're in danger of a tumor, stroke, or even dementia. So don't put this off, especially with this offer for virtual imaging. For a limited time, they're offering you and your spouse a free heart scan. Yes, free with a few minimum requirements. I've done it. Call 404-678-SCAN. That's 404-678-SCAN. Or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard joining MediShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network, so yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
Well, since my baby left me, I found a new place to dwell. Down at the end of a lonely street, that heartbreak hotel.
That's Willie Nelson? Oh, there's Willie. My favorite, welcome back to the Mark Arum Show. Happy 92nd birthday to Willie Nelson. My favorite Willie Nelson song, Deborah, is the duet he did with Eddie Vedder.
Oh.
What's that? Breathe? Is that it?
Well, it's an Eddie Vedder song, but yeah, he's duetted on it. That song's hard to listen to on its own.
Oh,
and then you put Willie Nelson on it.
Oh my
it's
God!
Even harder.
If you can find that, Longoria, in the next 3 minutes and play me a little something, you'll get star of the show. No pressure. You got 3 minutes. Deborah, while I have you, let's talk about hoarding old technology. I am guilty of this. I have every single cell phone I've ever owned going back to 2001, the StarTAC flip phone. I am not alone in this endeavor.
No, VCRs, iPods, laptops, gaming systems, and of course those old flip phones. 1 in 3 Americans have a bunch of old tech lying around the house because they really just don't know what to do with them. Now, a lot of people will throw them in the trash, but that's technically bad for the environment. So you are supposed to recycle them. There are some stores that'll recycle, like Best Buy does recycle. I think Apple will give you some credit, but don't throw them in the trash. But if you are a hoarder, it might be a good thing because VHS, that's coming back. Do you have VHS sitting around your house?
No, I didn't chuck them all. I gave them all the Goodwill.
Yeah,
why
I
are
did too.
VHS cassette tapes coming back? I can't understand that.
I know it's kind of cool. I got rid of all of mine too. I gave them to my family and donated them as well. But now, because sometimes people have frustrations with streaming, they just can't stream properly. They can't find anything to watch, but you can always go back to your favorites. So millennials are kind of loving the fact that they can just pop that tape in whenever they want. It's so popular that stores are popping up where people can do swap meets or go and sell their old tapes or buy old tapes. And even 8-tracks were part of the conversation.
I have PTSD when it comes to rewinding VHS tapes and the tape gets bought. Vinny, have you ever even watched a VHS cassette on a VCR? Have you ever seen one in person?
I had a VHS growing up.
No.
Well, my brother had one.
As an antique? Was it? He didn't use it, did he?
No, not antique. It worked.
All right.
What did you watch on it?
Old episodes of Matlock. Like what are you watching on anyway? I can't. I'm glad we don't have to deal with VHS cassettes. Be kind, please rewind. All that stuff. All right, did you find it, Longoria? My favorite Willie Nelson song of all time right here.
Yes, I understand that every life must end. As we sit alone, I know someday we must go.
Am I ruining it?
Oh, I'm a lucky man to count on both hands the ones I love.
I'm going to cry. All right, that's enough. Thank you, Longoria. Happy 92nd birthday, Willie Nelson. What a legend.
Longoria's Fact of the Day.
All right, today is National Zipper Day, and before zippers got their name, separable fasteners was the name for zippers. And in 1923, the B.F. Goodrich Company put zippers on their galoshes and called the closure Zipper, the name that mirrored the sound, and it stuck. Now we know it as Zipper.
Zipperhead.
Zipperhead.
What is that? That's an insult, right? You zipperhead? But I don't understand
I think so.
The origin.
Yeah.
Should I have not said that? I have no idea what it means. Button fly or zipper, Deborah? What do you prefer when it comes to jeans?
Ooh, I do love a button fly.
Button fly? That's old technology, the button fly. Yeah. Happy National Zipper Day, or whatever Longoria just said.
And now, are you guys ready for the Mark Aram Star?
All of a sudden, I think allergies are hitting me or something, or Vinny slipped something in my chai latte. I'm all broken up. Deborah, I'm going to hand it to you. Who should be our stars of the show? Obviously, Longoria gets one for the Willie Nelson song.
Yeah, we had a lot of guests on. So we had Beth Noble on. We had Luke Barr on today. Rory joined us. Greg Bluestein, the return of Greg Bluestein. That was really good.
Return of the Mac.
Yeah, Michael Dowdna made his appearance. Chris Cuomo came on the show. I mean, we had a lot of people. Vinny did a great job today. Vinny behind the scenes did a great job today.
Vinny Drip. All right, thanks, Deborah. I'm losing my voice. Hopefully I'll be back tomorrow. Oh, Christy Brinkley's on the show tomorrow. I'm definitely going to be here. I'll fight through whatever I'm dealing with. Social medias are active 24/7 at Mark Arum, MarkArum. Don't go anywhere. Right after the new news, I'm going to give you another keyword in the 5K Day bonus blitz, a chance for you to win $1,000 just moments away right here on 95.5 WSB. Stay safe. Have a great Tuesday, Atlanta.
To a simpler place and time. Oh, yes, he is. Now be with him. I know you will. On that midnight train to Georgia. Leaving on that midnight train. Hey, 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 hey.
WSB Atlanta, WSB BFM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
WSB expert Clark Howard, sponsored by Ragsdale Heating, Air, Plumbing, and Electrical.
Power rates have been going up. One thing you can consider is having batteries installed as part of your power system in your home. It allows you to run a lot of your home on your batteries. And then at night, when power is extra cheap, you replenish the batteries so that then the next day they can do it again. Power company benefits, and you benefit big time in your power bill.
An investment in your home is something that will pay off in the future, but it's something that you can enjoy right now. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage, Entry Doors, and Windows. A beautiful new garage door, entry doors, and windows are an investment you can love every day, and they will increase your home's value, energy efficiency, and curb appeal. All Four Seasons, trusted in Atlanta for over 25 years, exceptional customer service, and high-quality work. When trust matters, trust us. All the number 4 Seasons Garage.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 12